Morning, sir. Sir, all together?
Meeting.
வாங்கடா எல்லாம் ஒன்றா வாங்க நான் பிள்ளை யாரையும் காணாமல் எல்லோரும் ஒன்றா வர கெஸ்ட்டாக
சீக்கிரம் நேரம் முடிச்சிங்க சண்டை உணர்த்து Visibility is okay. Okay. Otherwise, this is also nice. Because there is no space that we have accommodated. Wherever we sit, அதுக்கு இல்லை எனக்கு வெளியே பார்க்கணும் என்டர் பண்ணலாம் சூப்பராக இருக்கேன் நம்ம வந்து வேற
All the mediators' names are there. Yes, okay, I'm saying somewhere. The Harla also is here. They know. No, they have told it's basic leaders. I know. ஏன்னா உங்க stuck on me. Yeah, just take it.
Yeah, it's stuck.
இது பரவாயில்ல சூப்பர். Yeah. கொஞ்சம் பேர் தானே போட்டுட்டாங்க எங்கேயோ
那就行，那个什么，这里面， हेलमेट होगा हेलमेट होगा हेलमेट होगा हेलमेट होगा இன்னும் வரலப்பா
அப்படியே நல்லா உள்ள வரும் நல்லா உள்ள வரும் அப்படியே சைட்டாக உள்ள போங்க வெளியில் வந்துருங்க
நேற்று அப்படியா நான் நேற்று வந்தேன் ஓகே
நான் லைன்ல இருக்கேன்
A very good morning to one and all gathered here. I welcome you all to this August gathering on the occasion of Tripartite meeting cum interaction at the District Combined Court Complex organized by the Tamil Nadu Mediation Conciliation Center Chennai and the District Mediation Center Udagamandalam. I now request this August gathering to raise for the Tamil Thai வாழ்த்து. Thanks to our staff. Conflict is inevitable, but Combat is optional. We, at the District Mediation Center, Nilgiris, truly believe the above words. I now request our chairman, R. Sridharan, the chairman of District Mediation Center, Udagamandalam, to present the welcome address.
My Lord, Honorable Justice G.K. Ilandarayan, Judge High Court Madras, and Member, Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee, respected District Judge, my brother and sister judges, participating resource person and moderator of this program, Mrs. Sheila Jaiprakash, participating mediators of the Nilgiris District, President, Secretary, office bearers, senior and junior members of the various bar associations in the Nilgiris District, public prosecutor and government leaders, court officers of the Nilgiris District Judiciary, press and media present here, very good morning to all. It is a proud moment for the Nilgiris District Judiciary to host this tripartite meeting and interaction session organized by the Tamil Nadu Mediation Conciliation Committee, Center and District Mediation Center, the Nilgiris, under the able guidance of Honorable Justice G.K. Ilandarayan, Judge High Court Madras. I feel it to be privileged to be the part of this initiative of the Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee, which comes for the first in Tamil Nadu at Udagamandalam, among all districts. This is the first official function organized in this auditorium after the inauguration of new Combined Court building. It is a matter of great satisfaction that Tamil Nadu's Mediation and Conciliation Center has reposed confidence in us and provided this opportunity to conduct the meeting first in our district. On my behalf and on behalf of the Nilgiris District Judiciary, I would like to place on record our gratitude to Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee and the Director for giving us this chance. I can bet there could be no better place than this to commence the meeting and interaction here. I say so for two reasons. One, that Udagamandalam has historically been a destination of learning. Second thing, that climatically there is no parallel to Udagamandalam. So now it is time to dispel the myths and notions that justice requires black coats, gowns and elaborate arguments. This reality is that most of the litigants in India suffer from many social and economic constraints. What they need is a quick, inexpensive and convenient method of dispute resolution. Mediation is one such mechanism available to parties to a dispute. However, a mediator needs to be perceptive to the emotions of both the parties as well as the underlying issues. Even when the most stubborn parties, the mediator must guide the parties with great optimism and patience to find a workable settlement. Mediation as a tool of grievance redressal, which is cheaper, faster and simpler, can ensure just and fair outcomes. In this regard, the Apex Court has played an active effort to improve mediation in India and has played a crucial role in bringing mediation into the mainstream. It is true that mediators are facing certain issues during conflict resolution, which require mediators to be well trained and equipped to understand and be prepared to react to any situation that arises before them. Therefore, it is necessary for the interaction session like this to be constantly updated and modified to keep up with the best practices of the country. My Lord, Honorable Justice G.K. Ilandarayan, Judge High Court Madras, is with us today to guide us in this interaction session and to lead the academic discussion. His Lordship has come all the way from Madurai despite his busy schedule and multifarious commitments. We all know that His Lordship has a great flair for academic discussion directed towards judicial excellence and betterment of the institution. His Lordship was also a trained mediator serving with Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Center since 3rd October 2008. I heartily welcome Your Lordship to this beautiful part of the country. Your presence has added grace to the occasion. We are very keen to seek benefits from Your Lordship's vast experience, equally at bar and bench. Welcome, my Lord. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our beloved and respected District Judge, Mr. Abdul Qadir. I am lucky to work with our District Judge and hope I will work with him for at least 1 or 2 years together. I am an admirer of our DJ's knowledge of law, above that his skills of meticulous planning. He was instrumental in organizing many plans in filing system during COVID-19 pandemic period. Welcome, our District Judge. I feel it is my good fortune to welcome the resource person of this interaction session, Mrs. Sheila Jaiprakash, who is acclaimed for her unmatched ability, competence and skills. He is endowed with rich experience of guiding many things regarding mediation and providing useful inputs for the enhancement of mediation mechanism. Your presence with us, Madam, today shall be helpful for us to sharpen our skills. Welcome, Madam. I extend a warm welcome to all my brother and sister judges of the Nilgiris district who are participating in the session. I am sure you all will share your experiences during the session and make it a useful one. Welcome all my brother and sister judges. I welcome the mediators, the president, secretary, office bearers, and senior and junior members of all the bar associations of the district. And your presence in this session shall be inspiring for the participants in other districts also. Welcome all the mediators and delegates of the bar. In the presence of the public, special public prosecutors and government leaders, additional government leaders in this inaugural session is laudable. I hope that you will give your useful inputs to make this session a success. I also welcome and express my sincere gratitude to the officers and staffs of the district judiciary for facilitating and extending full cooperation to enable us to organize this event of great importance. It is my great pleasure to welcome press and media people. You are going to take this session to the entire state. Your support means so much to us. While concluding, I again welcome each and every person present in this session. Welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you for your words, sir. Now, I call upon Mrs. Sheila Jaiprakash, Senior Trainer of Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee, to present a few words to this gathering. Can you please, ma'am?
Good morning to everyone. It's indeed a pleasure to be with you. In fact, I didn't know I was supposed to speak, so I've just scribbled a few words. Honorable Justice Lindarang, Honorable District Judge, Honorable Judges of the courts in Nilgiris district who are here with us today, brothers and sisters from the legal fraternity, and my fellow mediators. It's indeed a pleasure for me to be with you today, to take part in this meeting where together we want to try and move the process of mediation forward. I'm here today so that we can have an exchange of information. So it's not going to be, I hope it's not going to be some just talking, but we would get feedback from you, for inputs from you as to how to take the mediation process in this district forward, how to improve it. So what we would need is, what is the logistics that you need, the infrastructure that you need, and to take this process forward. You all have all been trained for 40 hours. You all have now done mediation, so you have both the book knowledge as well as practical knowledge of mediation. At this stage, would you want a refresher course? You know, something that says, okay, let me see it from a wider perspective. So that's what I'm here for today with the Honorable Judge, so that we can take back with us what is it that you need in this district to be able to take it forward. I've just seen the new hall, and I am sure when that is ready, you're also in a position to do more mediations, and how it will be done is worked out by you with help from us if you need it. Then, you know, mediation is something that is addictive. I've done it for 20 years. And sometimes when you have finished a case with mediation, two people who walk into the room, there are times when they are not willing to sit together in the room. Then you bring them, they talk to each other, and then they settle and they are walking out. It's something that gives you such a deep sense of satisfaction that even winning a case after fighting for it and having your evidence doesn't give you. It doesn't give you that kind of joy. It's almost a high sometimes when you watch people who did not talk. I could tell you instances of people who walked and sat without looking at each other, but at the end of maybe 7 sessions, 8 sessions, they are willing to talk to each other and say, this is what I want, this is what I'll give you. And then you know that it is because of your inputs, because of your nature, because of what you've had as a training, you've been able to bring people from that position into this position. So we need to have more mediations, more mediators, and then cultivate in us that sense of deep satisfaction that we have settled a matter. And as far as I'm concerned, settling a matter is not the end all and be all. Getting people to talk together. Sometimes almost 40-50% of the cases that don't settle in mediation go back to the court and then settle. Why? Because you have opened their eyes to how much better it is to settle than to fight. So as I just want to say these few words and say, we wish this mediation center all the best as you move forward and take the process of mediation forward. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We look forward to learn and interact with you during the course of the day. Now, I request Thiru R. Mahadevan, President of Nilgiris Bar District Bar Association, for a special address.
Honorable Justice, respected resources person, Honorable District Judge, Honorable Chairman, District Legal Authorities, Honorable Secretary, District Legal Authorities, Honorable Judicial Officers of this district, learned seniors, my friends and my sister members, I take this opportunity to address you all on this August occasion of Tripartite meeting and interaction that is held here today in presence of our Justice, who is a very resourceable person, and as you have all learned that from 2008 he was into mediation, and as our resourceable person who is also for more than 20 years of their experience, we should all use their guidance, you should use all their experience in coming to a conclusion with regard to the disputes that has been arising between the parties. First and foremost, I think you all know the very meaning of the tripartite meeting and interaction, which the meaning is always there on the face of the invitation here itself. Tripartite, you know that three parties meet together to see that the dispute between them is given a best end, best beginning and a best end, wherein there will be no continuation of dispute, no continuation of egos, no continuation of sorrows, and no continuation of any ill feeling between any of the members or any of the persons with whom there was a dispute in the past. So this is a very good procedure or a very good initiative that has been taken by our own High Court, wherein the dispute should be sorted out between the parties and see that a quietus is given to the matter as early as possible. So here you know that there are three parties, that is, one party is to the dispute, the other is the against party, and the third one is the umpire, as you say, the mediator, who is there and who decides the matter and finishes off. Here, as you all know, that this tripartite meeting or interaction or mediation and counsel is like an instant coffee or instant dosa mix or rava mix, as you all know, which is very instant. You get justice, you see that your problem is solved, your time has been sought out, and you see that you start a new life wherein it gives you more pleasure and more time for you to grow and put up yourself in a prospective manner, rather than spending your time in disputes and involving yourselves with all sorts of worries and mental agonies, so that this procedure will keep you all away from all these mental agonies and your worries. That is why this has been introduced, which is very, very effective and more common. They want to make it more common and more effective. That is why we are all here before this, in this auditorium. And the other thing is that, as you all know, that only egos that keeps us dragging and that keeps us going into the court. The egos will never at all be over in any manner. If there is an ego, they will surely go to a civil court. If we want to drag a case, we can go to the civil court. That everyone knows. Whether without any reason, we can go to a civil court. For example, if a construction is constructed by our neighbor, we see that he should not construct, he should not put up the construction. We want to stall the construction, we want to break his happiness and everything. We go to the court, we give one or the other reason. And we say that either by eastman right, we say that the air has been blocked when he constructs, or we say that the setouts that has been given is not correct. So we approach the honorable court, we go and we beg the lordships and honors, and we get an order of injunction. After getting an order of injunction, what we do, we try to drag on the proceedings, and there what happens is our egos start growing. The neighbors and ours, the egos start growing, and there we keep on, we want to see that his development is stalled. So we file petition by petition, we file appeal by appeal, we go till the Supreme Court, only to see that he is being stopped from construction or he is being stopped from enjoying. So all these things, in order to stop all these things, this is the best method wherein we can see that the dispute is put to an end and it is given an quitus once for all, and it is being given without even spending any time and to give a prosperity. Here, sir, our Lordship is here. I just want to request our Lordship that let this not be a triparty, let this be a five-party. Because we advocates are left out here. That is the main anguish for our advocate community here, wherein we are not being taken into consideration in the mediation, and while the mediation is there, we are taken into consideration with our claim. Here what happens is, we are allowed to represent, we are allowed to come over there. But here what happens is, at the time of fixing the remuneration, there comes the problem. The advocates are left out. And they are being hanged in the air. So what happens is, if at all it is their Lordship, let us make it as five-party, not three-party, and the remuneration for the advocate, that is the counsels who are appearing before the mediation, if that is there, the counsels also will be very happy, and I think it will be more effective and more workable. And that process, I think, will be very good, and it will also engage all the juniors and everyone here, because our members are all it's very a small district, less number of cases are there. Referring to the mediation and giving a quitus within 2 or 3 hours of a dispute being engaged, we think we'll all be going without any bundles and files over here because of the number of cases, there are very few number of cases that has been pending. So here what my humble request or my humble prayer or suggestion here is that let the advocates be given an equal part. Let the mediators or advocates, yes, we do consider, but even then the parties in favor of whom the advocate is appearing, let him also be taken into consideration, and let him also be looked into, and let him also have the remuneration as the arbitrator or It's like one and the same like arbitration. That's all, arbitration proceedings. So let them also have some say. So I think I just have spoken on behalf of my friends and my advocates, wherein we had something for us to include Lordship. So I think we have made it, and we think let us make it a grand success. And this colorful auditorium, the first function over here has also made it very colorful. I think the same way this tripartite meeting and conciliation also should be made a grand success. I thank one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Thiru S. Babu, President of Kunnur Bar Association and Government Leader, to address the gathering.
மாண்புமிகு உயர் நீதிமன்ற நீதிபதி ஐயா அவர்களே, இங்கு சென்னையிலிருந்து வருகின்றிருக்கும் ரிசோர்ஸ் பர்சன் அவர்களே, மாவட்ட நீதிபதி உள்ளிட்ட அத்தனை நீதிபதிகள் மற்றும் மூத்த வழக்கறிஞர்கள், வழக்கறிஞர் பெருமக்கள் அனைவருக்கும் இந்த இனிய கூட்டத்திற்கு தலைமை தாங்கி நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கும் நீலகிரி பார் பிரசிடென்ட் அவர்களுக்கும் என்னுடைய முதற்கண் வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டு, இந்த ட்ரைபார்ட்டி மீட்டிங் நீலகிரி மாவட்டத்தில் முதல் முறையாக கூட்டப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. இங்கு நீலகிரி மாவட்டத்தில் பெரும்பாலான வழக்குகள் வந்து செட்டில்மெண்ட்லயே முடிஞ்சிருது. கடந்த வாரம் கூட நம்முடைய மாவட்ட நீதிபதி அவர்கள் முன்னிலையில் 2 வழக்குகள் பேசியே முடிச்சிட்டாரு, பார்ட்டிஷன் சூட்டார். அது மாதிரி நம்முடைய மாவட்டத்தில் பெரும்பாலான வழக்குகள் பேசி தீர்க்கப்படக்கூடிய வழக்குகள். அப்படிப்பட்ட வழக்குகளை எல்லாம் இந்த மீடியேஷன் சென்டர் மூலமாக பல வழக்குகள் தீர்க்கப்பட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கின்றன. ஒரு சில வழக்குகள் வந்து தீர்க்கப்படாத வழக்குகள் தான் கோர்ட்டுக்கு வருது. இங்கு வந்து பெரும்பாலான வழக்கறிஞர்கள் 40 மணி நேரம் பயிற்சி பெற்று மீடியேட்டர்களாக சிறப்பாக பணியாற்றி கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். குன்னூர் நீதிமன்றத்தை பொறுத்தளவு வெறும் குறைந்தபட்ச எண்ணிக்கையில் 6 பேர் தான் மீடியேட்டரா இருக்காங்க. என்னுடைய வேண்டுகோள் என்னன்னா, இன்னும் பல மீடியேட்டர்களை குன்னூர்ல அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் பண்ணி அவர்களுக்கும் 40 மணி நேரம் ட்ரைனிங் கொடுத்து இந்த மீடியேஷனை வந்து வளர்க்கணும்னு சொல்லி இந்த வாய்ப்பினை நல்கிய அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி கூறி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Parasuraman, the President of Gudalur Bar Association, to address the gathering.
மாண்புமிகு உயர் நீதிமன்ற நீதியரசர் அவர்களுக்கும் மாவட்ட அமர்வு நீதிமன்ற நீதிபதி அவர்களுக்கும் அதே போன்று நம்முடைய மகிழா ஜட்ஜ் நீலகிரி மாவட்ட டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் லீகல் சர்வீஸ் அத்தாரிட்டியினுடைய நீதிபதி அவர்களுக்கும் மற்றும் மேடையில் இருப்பவர்களுக்கும் கூடலூர் வழக்கறிஞர் சங்கத்தின் சார்பாகவும் அதே போன்று நீலகிரி வழக்கறிஞர் சங்கத்தின் சார்பாகவும் அதே போன்று குன்னூர் வழக்கறிஞர் சங்கம், கோத்தகிரி வழக்கறிஞர் சங்கம் அனைவரின் சார்பாகவும் இந்த இனிய வேளையில் இப்போ வருகின்ற காலகட்டங்களில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா டெலிவரி ஆஃப் ஜஸ்டிஸ் டோர் டு டோர் வந்து நம்ம சர்வீஸ் போயிட்டு இருக்குது. அதனால தான் லோக் அதாலத்து, அதே மாதிரி நம்ம இன்னைக்கு பேசக்கூடிய ட்ரைபார்ட்டிட் அந்த மீட்டிங், இதெல்லாம் வந்து எதுக்குன்னாக்கா நாளுக்கு நாள் மக்களுக்கு எந்த சிரமமும் இல்லாமல் நீதியினுடைய பரிபாலனை வழங்க வேண்டும் என்று நினைத்து நாளுக்கு நாள் புதிய புதிய சிஸ்டம் நம்ம நீதித்துறை வந்து இன்ட்ரடியூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்குது. இப்போ வழக்காடிகளுக்கு நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னாக்கா அவங்களாம் டைம் பவுண்டட், நம்மளோட ரொம்ப டைம் பவுண்டடாக தான் இருக்கிறாங்க. நான் இப்போ 2-3 நாளைக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு சிவில் வழக்கில் வந்து ஒரு கிளைண்ட்டு கூட ஒரு பிரச்சனைக்காக போயிட்டு இருந்தேன். அப்போ என்னன்னாக்க ஒரு வழிபாதை பிரச்சனை. அந்த கிளைண்ட் வந்து எப்படின்னு கேட்டிங்கனாக்கா பக்கா டாக்குமெண்ட் இருக்குது. நான் சொன்னேன், நீங்கள் போய் இந்த ஒரு சிவில் கேஸை வந்து நீங்கள் அடித்தடியிலலாம் போயிட்டு நீங்கள் ஒரு முடிவில் நீங்கள் ஏஜ் ஆகிட்டீங்க, சீனியர் சிட்டிசன், 69 வயசு ஆகிடுச்சு, இதெல்லாம் பண்ணுறத விட நீங்கள் கோர்ட்டில் ஒரு இன்ஜெக்ஷன் போடலாங்க. இன்ஜெக்ஷன் போட்டு நமக்கு மெரிட் ஆஃப் தி டாக்குமெண்ட் வச்சு பார்க்கும்போது நல்ல ஒரு கேஸ் தான் அப்படின்னு அவர் சொல்லும்போது, கேஸ் போட்டால் எத்தனை வருஷம் இருக்கும், உங்களுக்கு ஜட்ஜி ரொம்ப க்ளோஸா, நீங்கள் பேசுனது நடக்குமா, இப்படின்ற மாதிரிலாம் கேள்விகள் பலதரப்புலையும் கேள்விகள் கேட்டு 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 அப்புறம் தான் ஒரு வழக்காடி வந்து ஒரு வழக்கறிஞர்கிட்ட வந்து அந்த கேஸை கொடுக்குறாங்க. அப்போ அவங்க கிட்ட நம்ம என்ன சொல்ல முடியும்? நம்ம கிட்ட கேட்கும் போது இந்த மெரிட் ஆஃப் தி டாக்குமெண்ட்ல வந்து நம்ம ஒரு இன்ஜெக்ஷன் வாங்கி கொடுக்கலங்க, உங்களுக்கு நல்ல கேஸ், எந்த பிரச்சனையும் வராது, உங்களுக்கு உங்க தரப்பை நீங்க சேஃப்கார்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் நம்ம சொல்றோம். ஆனா அவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்கன்னா அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி ஷார்ட், அதாவது அந்த ஷார்ட் ஸ்பேன் ஆஃப் டைம்ல அந்த டைம் பவுண்டடா தான் திங்க் பண்றாங்க. ஒரு கேஸ் போட்டு சப்போஸ் இன்ஜெக்ஷன் கொடுக்கலீங்க, ஜட்ஜி வந்து இன்ஜெக்ஷன் கொடுக்கலன்னா என்ன பண்றது, நான் அப்புறம் அந்த வழியை வந்து க்ளோஸ் பண்ண முடியாது, ஒண்ணுமே பண்ண முடியாது, 10 வருஷம் கேஸ் நடக்கும், என்னோட வயசு பார்த்தா 69 வயசு ஆயிடுச்சு, இதெல்லாம் வேண்டாங்க சார், நம்ம பார்ட்டி வச்சு முடிச்சுக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பார்ட்டியை கூட்டிட்டு வராங்க. பார்ட்டியை கூப்பிட்டு அந்த இடத்த அளக்கணும்னு சொல்றாங்க. அளந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா அந்த பார்ட்டிக்கு இடமே இல்லை. அவரு தான் சர்வேருக்கு ஃபீஸ் கட்டுறாங்க, எல்லாமே பண்றாங்க, அவங்களுக்கு இடமே இல்லை. சர்வேர் வந்து உங்களுக்கு இடமே இல்லைங்க, நான் எப்படி அளக்க முடியும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி ஒரு கோரிக்கை வைக்கிறாங்க. இதுவரைக்கும் அந்த 20 நாட்களா அவர் புதுக்கோட்டையிலிருந்து வராரு போறாரு, சர்வேர் வர்றதில்லை. கேட்கும்போது சர்வேர் வந்து எனக்கு ஜமாபந்தி இருக்குது, இப்படியெல்லாம் நிறைய கதைகள் சொல்லிட்டு என்னப்பா டிராகன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி விஷயங்கள்ல வந்து நம்முடைய கட்சிக்காரருடைய நிலைப்பாடு நம்ம பார்க்கணும். அவருக்கு ஏஜ் ஆயிடுச்சு, உண்மையாலுமே அவர் கோர்ட்டுக்கு வர முடியாது. அப்போ அந்த மாதிரி நிலைப்பாடு உள்ளவங்களுக்கு வந்து நம்ம மாதிரி இந்த மாதிரி இந்த ட்ரைபேட் இந்த மீட்டிங்ல நம்ம ஏதாச்சும் அவங்களுக்கு இஷ்யூஸ் வந்து சார்ட் அவுட் பண்ண முடிஞ்சா ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும். இந்த மாதிரி வழக்குகள் நம்ம எடுத்துக்கலாம். சில விஷயங்கள் அதாவது வீம்புக்கு நோம்பு எடுக்கிற மாதிரி, அதாவது 2 பேருமே வந்து இழுத்துட்டு இருக்கிறவங்க வந்து நம்ம ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது, அது கோர்ட்ல தான் தீர்க்க முடியும். மற்றபடி இந்த ஷார்ட்கட்ல வர்றவங்களுக்கு நம்ம வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிஸ்டம்ல வந்து டெலிவரி ஆஃப் ஜஸ்டிஸ் கிடைக்கிறதுல வந்து நம்மளாம் கண்டிப்பா கோஆபரேட்டிவா இருப்போம். இதுபோன்ற நீதித்துறை வந்து நீதி பரிபாலனை எல்லா தரப்பு மக்களுக்கும் சேர்வதற்கு நம்மெல்லாம் அனைவருமே வந்து உதவிகரமாக இருப்போம் என்று கேட்டுக்கொண்டு வாய்ப்பளித்தமைக்கு நன்றி பாராட்டி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Advocate B. Radhakrishnan, member of the Kotagiri Bar Association, to address the gathering.
My Lord, Honorable Judicial Officers on the dais and off the dais, I am totally unprepared for this speech because I never expected that I would be called upon to deliver a speech. I have been a trained mediator for the last 9 years. I'm finding it very difficult to come all the way from Kotagiri to Ooty Mediation Center. So I take this opportunity to make an appeal to our Lordship to make necessary arrangements to hold mediation session at Kotagiri. We are finding it very difficult after the court for regular work. We like to rush to Ooty. So therefore I request our Lordship to make necessary arrangements. And I would like to take this opportunity to mention, in fact we are deeply indebted to our District Municipal Judicial Magistrate Kotagiri for having disposed of 34 cases through mediation out of 40 cases which were referred. So on behalf of Kotagiri Bar Association, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our District Municipal Judicial Magistrate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Thirupi Shivakumar, Secretary of the Nilgiris District Bar Association, to present a few words to this gathering.
நீலகிரி மாவட்ட இலவச சட்ட உதவி மையம் சார்பில் இன்று ஒருங்கிணைந்த நீதிமன்ற வளாகத்தில் நடைபெற்றுக் கொண்டிருக்கும் இந்த முத்தரப்பு கூட்டம் மற்றும் கலந்துரையாடல் நிகழ்ச்சியில் கலந்து கொண்டு சிறப்பு சேர்க்கும் மாண்புமிகு சென்னை உயர்நீதிமன்றத்தின் நீதியரசர் மற்றும் மாநில சமரச தீர்வு மைய குழுவின் உறுப்பினராக எங்கள் மலை மாவட்டத்திற்கு வருகை தந்து சிறப்பு சேர்த்துள்ள நீதியரசர் அவர்களே, இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில் கலந்து கொண்டு எங்களுக்கு பயிற்சி அளிக்க இருக்கும் மூத்த பயிற்சியாளர் திருமதி ஷீலா ஜெயபிரகாஷ் அவர்களே, நம்முடைய மாவட்ட நீதிபதி கடந்த 2 மாதத்துக்கு முன்னால் தான் நமக்கு புதுசாக வந்து நம்ம கோர்ட்டில் வந்து பதிவெடுத்தார். இந்த சமரச தீர்வு மையம் சொல்லும்போது அவரை தான் ஞாபகம் வந்து என்னன்னா, 2 மாதத்துக்கு முன்னால் வந்த உடனேயே நமக்கு சின்ன சின்ன பிரச்சனைலாம் இருந்துச்சு. நம்ம கோர்ட் கேம்பஸில் நேராக போய் பார்த்தோம். நேராக போய் பார்த்து இந்த மாதிரி பிரச்சனைலாம் இருக்குங்க சொன்னேன். சரி, இது விடுங்க சார், வேறு பிரச்சனை ஏதாவது இருந்தால் சொல்லுங்கள் அப்படின்னாரு. அப்போ வந்து ஒரு விஷயத்தை வந்து ஒரு வழக்கு இருந்தாரா, ஒரு வழக்கு சம்பந்தமான ஏதோ ஒரு விவரங்கள் இருந்தாரா, அதை வந்து சமரசத்துக்கே எடுத்துக்க முடியும். இது சமரசத்தை விட அட்வான்ஸாக இருக்கார் அவர். இப்போ என்னன்னா, பிரச்சனையே இல்லை, இதெல்லாம் ஒரு பிரச்சனையே இல்லை, நீங்கள் அடுத்த விஷயத்துக்கு வாங்க, வேற என்ன கேளுங்க அப்படிங்கிறார். அதனால அந்த நீதிபதி வந்து நம்ம மாவட்டத்துக்கு வந்தது நமக்கு எல்லாம் பெருமை. நமக்கு மாவட்டத்துக்கு வந்ததுனால நம்மளுடைய மாவட்டத்துடைய ஒட்டுமொத்த பிரச்சனையும் இப்போவே முடிஞ்சிருச்சு. சமரசத்துக்கு உண்டான தேவைகள் வந்து நம்ம மாவட்டத்தில் ஏற்படலை. நம்ம மாவட்டத்துக்கு அடுத்த வழக்குகள் சம்பந்தமான விவரங்கள் வரும்போது நம்ம ஐயாவை வச்சு ஒரு கவுன்சிலிங் பண்ணாலே அது எல்லாமே முடிஞ்சிடும் அப்படிங்கிற விவரத்தை தகவலை தெரிவிச்சு, அதற்கு சமரச சட்டமான தீர்வு மையத்தின் தலைவர் குடும்ப நல நீதிபதி ஐயா அவர்களே, சமரச தீர்வு மையத்தின் செயலாளர் ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர் அவர்களே, உதகை, குன்னூர், கூடலூர் மற்றும் அனைத்து பகுதிகளைச் சேர்ந்த நீதிபதி பெருமக்களே, அனைத்து மூத்த வழக்கறிஞர்களே, சக வழக்கறிஞர்களே, நீதிமன்ற பணியாளர்களே, பொதுமக்களே, பத்திரிகை நண்பர்களே, அனைவரையும் பாரம்பரியமிக்க நீலகிரி மாவட்ட சங்கத்தின் செயலாளர் என்ற முறையில் அனைவரையும் மனதார வரவேற்கிறோம். நீலகிரி மாவட்ட வழக்கறிஞர் சங்கத்தை பொறுத்தவரையில் நீலகிரி மாவட்ட வழக்கறிஞர் சங்க நகர்ப்புறங்கள் தொடங்கி குக்கிராமங்கள் வரை மற்றும் வாகனங்கள் செல்ல முடியாத பழங்குடி கிராமங்கள் வரை நடைபெற்ற அனைத்து இலவச சட்ட உதவி நிகழ்வுகளிலும் நாங்கள் கலந்து கொண்டு அது வெற்றி பெறுவதற்கும் மக்களை சென்றடைவதற்கும் நாங்கள் அனைத்து ஒத்துழைப்புகளையும் வழங்கியுள்ளோம். இனிவரும் காலங்களில் சமரசம் மற்றும் தீர்வு மையத்தின் முக்கியத்துவம் கருதியும் இதனால் வழக்காடிகளுக்கு விரைவில் கிடைக்கும் தீர்வுகள் கருதியும் நாங்கள் அனைத்து வகையான ஒத்துழைப்புகளையும் தருவதற்கு தயாராக உள்ளோம் என்பதை இதன் மூலம் தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம். நீலகிரி மாவட்ட வழக்கறிஞர் சங்கத்தைச் சார்ந்த மேலும் பல்வேறு வழக்கறிஞர்கள் சமரசம் பயிற்சி பெற எங்களிடம் வேண்டுகோள் கடிதம் அளித்துள்ளார்கள். எனவே மாண்புமிகு நீதியரசர் அவர்கள் நீலகிரி மாவட்ட வழக்கறிஞர்களுக்காக விரைவில் ஒரு சமரச பயிற்சி நிகழ்வை ஏற்பாடு செய்து தர வேண்டும் என்ற கோரிக்கையுடன் இந்த நிகழ்வு சிறக்க நீலகிரி மாவட்ட வழக்கறிஞர் சங்க செயலாளர் என்ற முறையில் எனது நல்வாழ்த்துக்களை கூறி இந்த நல்ல வாழ்ப்பை எனக்கு அளித்த நீலகிரி மாவட்ட சட்டப்பணிகள் ஆணைக்குழுக்கு நன்றி கூறி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Tirumati Revati, advocate, to address this gathering on behalf of all the women lawyers practicing in the Nilgiris district.
Respected Honorable Justice, respected judiciary on the dais, respected Madam Sheila Jaiprakash, brother and sister members, and all other friends. It's a pleasure in me addressing this August gathering regarding the tripartite meeting and other issues regarding mediation. As most of us know, Chennai mediation was inaugurated on 9th April 2005 and started functioning in the Madras High Court. Mandatory mediation through courts has become a legal sanction. They have become part of the judicial system. Mediation is a voluntary, party-concerned and structured negotiation process. In mediation, the parties retain the right to decide for themselves whether to settle the dispute and the terms of any settlement. Even though the mediator facilitates their communication and negotiations, the parties always retain control over the outcome of the dispute. Mediation is voluntary. The parties retain the right to decide for themselves whether to settle a dispute and the terms of settlement of the dispute. Even if the court has referred the case for the mediation, or if mediation is required under a contract or a statute, the decision to settle and the terms of settlement always rests with the parties. The parties have ultimate control over the outcome of mediation. Any party may withdraw from the mediation proceedings at any stage before its termination and without assigning any reason. Mediation is a party-centered negotiation process. Though the mediator, advocates and other participants also have active role in mediation, the parties play the key role in the mediation process and make the final decision regarding settlement. However, there is a degree of flexibility in following the different stages during mediation. Mediation is essence in an assisted negotiation process. Mediation addresses both factual legal issues and the underlying cause of a dispute. Thus, a mediation is broadly focused on the facts, law and underlying interests of the parties, such as a personal, business, commercial, family, social and community interest. The goal of mediation is to find a mutually acceptable solution that adequately and legitimately satisfies the needs, desires and interests of the parties. Mediation provides an efficient, effective, speedy, convenient and less expensive process to resolve a dispute with dignity, mutual respect and civility. Mediation is conducted by a neutral third party. The mediator remains impartial, which is very important, independent, detached and objective throughout the mediation process. In mediation, the mediator assists the parties in resolving the dispute. The mediator is a guide who helps the parties to find their own solution to the dispute. In mediation, the mediator works together with the parties to facilitate the dispute resolution process and does not adjudicate a dispute by imposing a decision upon the parties. The mediator employs certain specialized communication skills and negotiation techniques to facilitate a productive interaction between the parties to find mutually acceptable solutions. Mediation is a private process which is not open to the public, which is very important. Mediation is also confidential in nature, which means the statements made during mediation cannot be disclosed in civil proceedings or elsewhere without the written consent of the parties. Any statement made or informed furnished by either of the parties and any document produced or prepared for during mediation is inadmissible and non-discoverable in any proceedings. Any concession or admission made during mediation cannot be used in any proceedings. Further, any information given by a party to the mediator during mediation process is not disclosed to other parties unless specifically permitted by the first party. No record of what transpired during mediation is prepared. Any settlement reached in a case that is referred for mediation during the course of litigation is required to be reduced in writing, signed by the concerned parties and filed in court for the passing of an appropriate order. A settlement reached at a pre-litigation stage is a contract which is binding and enforceable between the parties. In the event of failure to settle the dispute, the report of the mediator does not mention the reason for the failure. It only says not settled. In the event of failure to settle the dispute, the report of the mediator does not mention not settled. The mediator cannot be called upon to testify in any proceeding or to disclose to the court as to what transpired during the mediation session. Parties to the mediation proceedings are free to agree for an amicable settlement, even ignoring their legal entitlement or liabilities. Now, I would like to say the advantages of mediation. The parties have control over the mediation in terms of which means the right to decide whether to settle or not and the terms of settlement. Secondly, mediation is participative. Parties get an opportunity to present their case in their own words and to directly participate in the negotiation. Mediation is voluntary and any party can opt out of it at any stage if he feels it is not helping him. The procedure is speedy, efficient and economical. The procedure is simple and flexible. It can be modified to suit the demands of each case. Flexible scheduling allows parties to carry on with their day-to-day activities. The procedure is conducted in an informal, cordial and conductive environment. Mediation is a fair process. The mediator is impartial, neutral and independent. The process is very, very confidential, about which I mentioned earlier. The process facilitates better and effective communication between the parties, which is crucial for a creative and meaningful negotiation. Mediation helps to maintain, improve, restore relationships between the parties. Mediation always takes into account the long-term and underlying interests of the parties. This provides an opportunity to the parties to comprehensively resolve all their differences. In mediation, the focus is on resolving the dispute in a mutually beneficial settlement. A mediation settlement often leads to the settling of related, connected cases between the parties. Mediation allows creativity in dispute resolution, ignoring their legal entitlements or liabilities. When the parties themselves sign the terms of settlement, satisfying the underlying needs and interests, there will be compliance. Mediation promotes finality. The disputes are put to rest fully and finally, as there is no scope for any appeal or revision and further litigation. And the most important point is refund of court fees. Court fees is permitted as per law, as per rules in the case of settlement in the court to refer to mediation. To conclude, mediation establishes a public-private partnership between the court and the community. They work hand in hand to arrive at satisfactory and faster settlement. And thank you all present here for having given me this opportunity to say this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request President and the Secretary of the Nilgiris District Bar Association to present a flower bouquet to Honorable Thiru Justice G.K. Ilandirayan as a mark of welcome on behalf of all the members of the association. Now I call upon Honorable Thiru Justice G.K. Ilandirayan, Judge, High Court of Madras and member of the Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee to present his presidential address.
Respected resource person, Mrs. Sheila Jaiprakash, District Judge of Nilgiris District, and all the judicial officers of this district, office bearers of various bar associations in Nilgiris District. Good morning to everybody. I am indeed very happy to participate in the tripartite meeting and also interaction with
mediators, judicial officers, and litigants. Litigants means they are representing through the council. Don't worry, the advocates also can participate, except the certain matters. You know very well what are all the matters not to, and what are the matters you can also facilitate your parties in order to settle the issues before the mediation center. Now, the object of this meeting, mainly, what are the hurdles suffered by first judicial officers, that is referring judges, mediators, and the litigants, that is the parties. It is true, it is not mandatory to refer the matter for alternative dispute resolution systems. However, for speedy justice, the ADR system came for the court's rescue and also speedy disposal of justice cases and speedy justice to be rendered to the parties. That is more important. Therefore, the referral judges is very great significance in court-referred mediation. In India, we started with the court-annexed mediation, not like abroad, like US. There are private mediations, not in our country. Though now we initiated, I think resource person mainly we are doing mediation on the court-annexed mediation. Those matters were referred by the respective courts, we are doing mediation. So therefore, the referral judge's role is very important in the mediation process. And there is statutory requirement, as you know very well, the section 89 of CPC. It makes the consent of parties is mandatory for referring the matters before mediation. And now, by the judicial pronouncement, without consent of the parties also depends upon the facts and circumstances of each and every cases, the referral judge can refer the matter before mediation. And then the stage of reference, like a civil suit, immediately after completion of pleadings, before framing issues, the matter can be referred before mediation. Even after framing of issues at any stage of trial, you can refer the matter before mediation. So therefore, the referral judges are played very important role. You must ensure that the matter will be settled. Those matters, immediately without hesitation, you refer the matter before mediation. Also, so many systems are there with regards to settlement. And next, it is referred to avoid the delay in trial and also speedy justice to be rendered to the parties, litigants. At the same time, I requested the honorable members of the bar not to exploit this system for your convenience or the party's convenience. So the major theme of this procedure to render speedy justice to parties, to litigants, as spoken by our earlier speakers, to avoid time consumption, money, and everything is there. So therefore, the role of the referral judges are very important. And next, the role of the advocates, lawyers in mediation. First you advise your parties, litigants. The mediation is also one of the process of judicial system. First you must advise your parties. It's not a different system and you can get speedy justice without consuming any further time, without spending more money. So therefore your role is very important. Not like other settlement. It's a mediation process, is a separate proceedings and you can get speedy justice without any difference between the parties. So therefore your role is very important. The pre-mediation means that even before institute a suit or whatever the case, you can advise the parties to avoid so many remedies are there. You can engage the mediators. So ultimate thing is that to reduce the burden of judges. Not only that, and for speedy disposal and speedy justice. So therefore the pre-mediation is also very important, and during the mediation you can advise your party the procedures of mediation and the relief to be obeyed in the mediation process. Likewise, the mediator's role is also most important. In your training, you are fully trained. You know the procedure to be followed during the mediation, and you strictly follow the mediation procedure. And the parties are the decision makers. They are seeking the relief between them by their negotiation. You can only facilitate them to arrive the conclusion. So therefore now the present meeting pertains to the difficulties or hurdles suffered by the referral judges, mediators and the parties, litigants. So therefore we will expect all your hurdles or whatever the ideas, suggestions can be invited to implement in the mediation process. That is why the meeting is now arranged today. I am also very happy to participate in the first time meeting in Nilgiris district, this tripartite meeting. And I was also being one of the mediator during my practice, so I have little knowledge about the mediation also. So therefore you all be requested during interaction, difficulties facing during the mediation or pre-mediation or while referring the mediation, we can interact later with our resource person is available to help and give good ideas. And other requests made by our bar members will be considered, be taken note of. Yes, some of the now the members of other association requested to have a session at other taluk mediation taluk courts. It is also noted down, and accordingly we will instruct once in a month or twice we will conduct a mediation, and also there depends upon the referring cases. And now I heard that I was informed that more than 30 cases, around 30 cases per month. I think it has to be increased little bit. I requested our referring judges to keep it in mind, and accordingly we refer the cases wherever the possibilities are there to settle the issues. Accordingly we refer it and will render justice accordingly. It is also reduce the burden of the judicial officers and help the litigants. Thank you for this opportunity, and we'll have interaction section also. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your glimpse on the do's and don'ts of mediation and also for taking our request into your consideration. Now I request the August gathering to break for a tea. Thank you.
Yes, please. 1 second.
Members, on the dais, I would like to say one word. There was an appeal from the Kotagiri bar that you have no center and they have to come here. I just want to share that when we started the mediation center in Chennai in 2005, we neither had a mediation room nor did we have a mediation center. We were just trained mediators dying to mediate with no facilities whatsoever. And then we worked it out that we would use the court halls after the court session. So we started mediation in the quadrangle. The 4 courts, court hall, I think it was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9. So as soon as the court finishes at 4:45, if we needed more, then we took more courts, because there were anyway at that time I think there were about 18 court halls. So we would sit in the court halls and we would carry on mediation till 7 in the evening. Start off at about 4:45 till 7 we used those court halls. That was something. Of course, we were not popular with the staff who had to lock the court halls. You know, they'd be standing at the door and looking at us and we'll just carry on. But that is an idea that I would like to throw out here. We do not have to wait for a mediation center to be started anywhere. Use whatever facility is available to you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request the gathering to remain seated. We'll have a break after 5 or 10 minutes. And now, since ma'am has given us an impetus, I call upon Thiru K. Ananthakrishnan, Advocate of Nilgiris District, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
My Lord, the Honorable Judge of the Chartered High Court of Madras, our District Judge, our respected Family Court Judge and Chairman of the Coordination Center, our resource person from Chennai, Mrs. Sheila Sai Prakash, then the Secretary of the Coordination Center, Subject, Honorable Subject, Mr. Lingam, President of our Nilgiri Bar Association, Secretary, members, Public Prosecutor, Government Leader, Judicial Officers, brother and sister members of the Bar. This August gathering gives us some knowledge regarding the mediation. Though the mediation started about almost 20 years ago, but our district, we still feel that we are in the infant stage, because we do not have much cases or where legal points are involved in the district. We have partition suit, injunction suit, then family disputes. All these suits, other than that, commercial suits now they started with the banks. More or less that's also arbitrable. So we do not have very strong cases where legal points are involved. Mediation is a good source where our district, mostly economically poor people and estate people, workers, laborers from work, from estates, and agriculture laborers. And to achieve justice, speedy justice, this is one of the good process under which the poor man, the economically weaker section get justice at an early date rather than fighting against a rich man. But in our district, what happens, they think that the litigants, the appearing before the mediation is one of the stage in legal process, and if you don't go also nothing will happen. And most of the people avoid taking part in the mediation. One example is that a poor lady working elsewhere comes with a child and to appear before the mediation center, but the husband doesn't come. It is also vice versa. So they drag on. See that the mediation means both the parties should take part. The mediators should insist that the parties take part in the mediation, let them have a talk, and husband and wife, it is a simple matter and ego is involved in sometimes, that can be charted out. They can meet together, have a discussion, and mediation should take risk in making the parties to meet together, and they should also help. If that is done, I think mediation will be a wonderful process, and I wish that our chairman has done a wonderful job in our coordinate secretary also in organizing this mediation tripartite meeting, and this mediation tripartite meeting and the conciliation should go forward very successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call Tirupati Rangasamy, Advocate of Nilgiri District, to address the Cabinet.
Honorable Justice, Madras High Court, Honorable District Judge, Honorable Chairman of this Mediation Center, Coordinator of this mediation, and first time I am coming across this kind of innovation meetings which can help us to solve our legal disputes. In fact, I am also one of the mediators who participated about 48 weeks in learning the techniques of this mediation, what are the qualities and how to approach the litigants, how to solve the litigations, how the litigant should be convinced to satisfy the functioning of the mediation center, etc. and all. It's also now, at this occasion, we are also very glad to note even our Lordship was also well-trained mediator. So he has explained to us how the mediation should go on. Before that, what is the importance of the pre-mediation? Because the pre-mediation only will give an intention or inspiring the litigant to go with an honest or bona fide intention to settle the matter. And it's, as rightly pointed by one of our lady member, Revati, that importance is that the mediator should be impartial and he should have a sufficient patience to convince the litigants. So these are all one of the important qualities of a mediator, and for that the mediator has to be well trained. It may look like easy that a mediation is very simple, but it is not so. It takes a lot of skill. Just to convince, first create a confidence on the litigant that this mediation will definitely help me. Both parties will have the confidence first that against the mediator that he is acting impartial, and what they proposed is for the welfare of both the litigants. And as rightly pointed by our Lordship, that all matters cannot be referred for litigation, the mediation, because there are certain matters where the facts involved, where the law involved and all. So considering all that, only the pre-litigation, pre-mediation is important, and once if it is referred to mediation, as already pointed out by many of our speakers here, that it gives a speedy remedy, speedy justice, and less expenses, and it's once and for all settled, and it settles the anxiety and the enmity between the litigants and all. Always, many of our senior members used to say, I think our Lordship will agree, that bad settlement is better than a judgment. So this settlement is the main principle of the conciliation center and the mediation center. And keeping that in mind, that certain things has to be given up by the litigants. They should not think of too much, or their anxiety should not go to the extent of succeeding in all the matters. So it's a give and take policy. So this is the kind of mediation, this is the kind of character that appears before the mediators. So I am sure that in the mediation matters, if the matter is settled, it cannot go for an appeal, and whatever expenses paid by way of court fees will be refunded, and it put a full stop to the entire litigation. And a major portion of the litigations in our districts are either a family matters or a small finance matters or some small agreements and something like that. All this can be sorted out definitely by a mediation and by the conciliation proceedings. And just because that it cannot be settled in 1 or 2 hearings, as rightly said by our chairman, it takes at least 7 to 8 hearings. Doesn't matter, because instead of the court, with the matter being prolonged in the court for years together, 1 or 2 meetings, more than that, 5 or 6 meetings will definitely come to a good conclusion. And I can always say that the mediation, the decision that has been taken up on the mediation center cannot be taken up for an appeal, and this matter cannot be revoked once again, or it cannot be further improved, or it cannot be in any way delay the proceedings any longer. So I am of the view that mediation and this tripartite meeting will certainly enlighten most of our litigants, and also impute knowledge to our lawyers also, to come to this kind of settlements in any of these matters. I am sure that the tripartite meeting arranged by the chairman of this mediation center and the coordinator, Mr. Lingam, will definitely helpful to all the publics in the Nilgiris. I am sure that the conciliation proceedings will take greater heights in the district of the Nilgiris. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request the August gathering to join for a tea break. I also request the members to reassemble in the auditorium after 10 minutes. Thank you.
idea. Looking good. Not like that.
இண்டோர் மட்டும்தான் தரமாட்டேங்கிறாங்க நல்லா போயிட்டுருக்கலாம் இல்லை அங்கே இப்போ 1,40,000 மேலே போயிட்டு அதில் பணம் சம்பாதிச்சுறாங்க அதில் எங்கன்னா படம் யூடியூப்பில் அதில் பாருங்க கொடுத்துல நம்ம வந்து படம் வருது கிளம்ப யூடியூப்புக்காரன் நான் கூட கிளம்ப சொல்கிற அளவுக்கு கூட்டாடியெல்லாம் Okay.
Okay. Bye bye, guys.
I welcome you all back after the tea break. Hope you have enjoyed the same. Now, I request Advocate Tripartite T. Srinivas to address the gathering, please, sir.
Chief guest of the function, Honorable Justice Ilantirayan, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and friends. It's a great opportunity for all the advocates here to take part in this function and learn something about mediation. First of all, I would like to remind all our advocates from the local community, Nilgiris. You all know that in every village there is a panchayat system, and where disputes are resolved amongst the parties in the village itself. And when the parties were dissatisfied, there was a forum of appeal where it went to Ettati, Ipat, Savaramane and all that. All those things, in spite of all that, when a party who is dissatisfied goes to the court, and invariably when the panchayat Michalika is produced in the court, our judges, the present sub-judge Mr. Sridharan, our Kotagiri Munsif, and our Mr. Lingam, who are all serving here as judges, would say that the said Michalika is inadmissible because it is unregistered. So, because it didn't have the stamp of authority. So now that the Mediation Act has come into force and most of the things are settled here, I only request all the junior advocates as well as the senior advocates to make their endeavor to go in for the best settlement. There's a saying which Mr. Rangasamy has already said: the worst settlement is better than the best judgment. So I won't say that you should go for a worse settlement, but whatever is reasonable, I think the mediators can visualize and put it in the mind of the clients and bring about the best settlement. I had my personal experience about a year back regarding my own property. There was a dispute between myself and my sister-in-law. It was regarding exclusive wall belonging to me. Then with the anger which got fired in me, I had to initiate a complaint, and that went in for 145 proceedings under the Criminal Procedure Code. And the RDO declared that the wall exclusively belongs to me, and it is within the town, and it's a commercial property. And after that, there is a thing in the order, as usual, that the parties are at liberty to take recourse to the civil court. The other side is closely related to our public prosecutor, Anandan, and his junior, Sendil, was his advocate. So after 1 year, we were all just waiting for the matter to end, and finally I engaged a facilitator to speak to her, because we were relatives. And finally, we were able to meet at some point where I had to pay money for my own wall, because I wanted to buy peace, and every day and night it was disturbing, and I didn't have sleep for the last almost 1 year. So this, in spite of my experience as a lawyer, and having known that I have a 100% case based on the documents, I never went in for the litigation, and I got the matter settled about 15 days back, and I was able to complete the construction now, and I am at peace. My son, who was here, who had come from Canada, he was asking me, why do you want to spend so much of money when you have such a good case? I said, see, you go back. I will have to live in peace here. So, all these things, as a lawyer, I have experienced all this in my lifetime. And when Mr. Mahadevan, the president, was addressing, he was mentioning about a case regarding easementary right. I filed a case regarding a property which Mr. Nanjundan is occupying now, and his daughter-in-law Shruti was caught in the function. Earlier it was a suit for declaration that the defendant should not open a window on the eastern side of a particular property owned by my client. That suit was decreed, and it was defended by a lawyer who was uncompromising. All of you know. Who's that? He's no more with us. And after that, we got an injunction. The person who owned the property erased the building after that. And he was trying to make a new construction. That was about 10 years after that. And in the meantime, what happened was, he was trying to construct the building adjoining my property, wherein by constructing a new building, he wanted to block my air, my light, and all those things. Then, Mr. Krishna Kumar, who is no more with us, he was appearing for the defendant at the second stage, and he said he knew that he is not going to win the case because he was not following any of the rules, and he was not constructing according to the plan. So he mooted for a settlement, and I said, see, you erect a revetment wall, vertical support to a height of about 20 feet. And reason prevailed upon his client, and he knew that unless he does it, he cannot finish the construction. Commercial properties in Ooty, they are very valuable and fetching very high income. My friend Mr. Nanjundan, the Kampiyar's father-in-law, is occupying that office now. He knows that all these things, small things, we are, as our trainer suggested, we'll have to make the clients understand what the implication is, and make them understand that these are all small things where ego is the main reason for now concluding the matter. So I only request our friends who are here, the future generation, to just imbibe in your thing, to go in for a settlement wherever it is possible. And of course, there are certain matters where you cannot, and certain matters can easily be sorted out. So I only wish this function a great success, and all the participants who are here, will make use of the opportunity in learning the skills of mediation. And I thank the authorities for having given me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call upon Advocate Tiruvaibi Beeman to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Honorable Justice from Chennai High Court, the Honorable District Judge, Mrs. Sheila, and all brothers and sisters of the Bar Association and the staff of the courts. I am indeed very, very happy to be here in this auspicious occasion. My contention and intention will be, we want to have mediation which comes only after coming to the court. So, before coming to the court itself, if we are able to stop those litigation and if we are able to make the litigants understand what they are going to achieve when they go to court, that will be the best solution for having all these meetings and preaching things to the public. Few years back, about 10 years back, maybe about 15 years or so, we used to go to all the villages in and around Nilgiri district and we used to give them, we used to advise them, as Mr. Patel T. Srinivasan said, that there is a panchayat in the village and there will be 20 houses and 14 villages, like that, so many villages are there, and those elders will have a meeting there and they will decide things and they will tell it to the litigants to not to go to court. So as you all said already, that we need not incur any expenditure for which they are stopping us to go to court. That should be the attitude. So now the new district judge has come here, so nice man, and we want him to have such meetings in and around the Nilgiri district so that all the advocates can come there. We can tell the public to not to come to court at all, so that there won't be any litigation at all. There won't be any litigation at all. It may affect the lawyers. It may affect the lawyers, but still, we should do some justice to the public of Nilgiris. As you all know, Nilgiri district, the advocates, they don't get more money also. They don't get more salary, more money in the sense towards their fees. Towards your fees. But still, though we have been doing that in the villages, a lot of cases have come, and we are coming across so many cases nowadays. And we have seen so many cases there in district court, other courts. Because our judges are so speedy, giving justice speedily, we were not able to have much cases. But we should curtail cases, and because of fees, let us not think about it. And as our president suggested that we should also be added as one of the parties there. The advocates, both the sides should also be added as parties there. Whatever cases we have through the government, we can get something and we can be happy with that. Let us not harass the public and the litigants. So before we go to court, I request all the persons, and I especially request the district judge to have meetings all around the Nilgiri district and to talk to them in such a way that we complete the work there in the village itself. Thank you for having given an opportunity. This is the only thing I wanted to tell the public, so that we can make the villagers who are very poor people to be happy without any litigation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for speaking your mind irrespective of the popular opinions. Now I call upon T. Mohan Das, advocate, to address the gathering.
Honorable dignitaries on the stage and off the stage, and my dear brothers and sisters, good day for all of you. Today we are going through the tripartite meeting mainly on the subject of mediation. No doubt, sufficient training has been given to the mediators, but unfortunately, as our Lordship has said, the obstacle and hurdles in the mediation has not been removed till date. And the main, I am sorry to say, the main hurdles and obstructors are the lawyers themselves. Because a lawyer, when he takes up a case, he knows whether this case will succeed or not. Whether it is civil case or a criminal case. And they are only self-motivated, that is, they are selfish. They are only concerned with the fees. The more they delay, they want to extract more fees from the poor litigant public. That attitude should be changed. Because ultimately, we can even at the time of taking the case itself, we can even tell the advantages and disadvantages and the fate of the case, and the advantages and disadvantages by going into mediation and settling our cases at an earliest. Cases need not be prolonged for decades together. We can settle it within, as the mediation, within 90 days. 1 or 2 sittings. And the advocates on record themselves can charge even more fees, giving a guarantee that the cases can be settled within a time frame, within 90 days if you go to mediation. And if the litigants' confidence is imposed, no doubt the general view is that by going into the mediation, cases will be reduced. If you impose confidence in the litigant public, cases on the other hand will increase, because the cases will be disposed of within 90 days and the problem will be solved. As my earlier speakers have said, that purchasing peace is more important than property. We can purchase peace. See, I always tell my clients who approach to me, first talk among yourselves, and as a last resort only you should come to court. No doubt we can charge fees, but ultimately we don't have the satisfaction. See, peace is spoiled by going to a lawyer's office, going to hospital, going to court. Police station also. Court, police station, lawyer's office, court and hospital. The entire peace in the family is spoiled. To avoid that, and no amount of money can give you peace. No doubt, lawyers can make money, but ultimately it doesn't serve our peace. Ultimately, what money we make is being spent elsewhere. That is in hospitals. So, I advise my learned brothers and sisters to first, when they take up the case itself, explain regarding the advantages and disadvantages of a case in prolonging and working out a settlement. On the other hand, they can explain the advantages of mediation. I therefore thank one and all for giving an opportunity to speak, because several other speakers behind me are waiting. So I am concluding my speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call upon Advocate Thiru K. Chandramohan to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Honorable Justice G. Kelintarian, respected judicial officers of the district, and resource person, Mrs. Sheila Jayprakash, beloved sisters and brothers of the bar, the budding lawyers who have come here, who have not finished the course, are also taking part in the function, the court staff, my friends who have gathered here. For you, I wish you a good day to you all. In the present century, everybody wants and needs a change, and judiciary is not an exemption for that. Our Lordship and resource person have enlightened us about the new trend and the ways of rendering justice in a short time with less cost and for amicable settlement out of court. Mediation is a very good concept rendering justice with less time, cost, and reducing the burden of the existing judicial system. Mediation is only to encourage the settlement of disputes amicably by way of negotiation, arbitration, and conciliation. Mediation is voluntary. Either party can stop the mediation at any stage and pave the way for private discussion, joint discussion, and settlement without any force, undue influence, or coercion. Now, the selection of mediators also depends upon the parties. If I am right, depends upon the party. They can select the mediators. At last, the court can appoint the mediators, 1 or 2 mediators, for settling the dispute if need be. The success of mediation is a positive state of mind with good faith in the mediation. They got adequate authority to make it a flexibility, patient hearing, and very short span of time, despite the attempt made by the judicial system by introducing Section 89 of CPC. The advantage of this mediation is to preserve good relationship between the parties to the dispute, minimize the cost also, as other speakers spoke, mutual satisfactory result also there, help litigants to bridge their difference and find solution to their dispute in a short time. Fortunately, in our district, the present judicial officers of our districts are very kind, humble, honest, and always smiling. That their approach is good and is a very good sign for mediation and to have start a mediation center in our district. Due to paucity of time, I request the honorable judges to take few points. The advocates have left out in the meeting, as said by expressed by our president. That has to be considered. Because in the mediation, three person advocates, counsels appearing for the parties. Then, as our resource person said, we need the mediation center to be started in every taluk, not only in headquarters. And if it is possible, we can have it in the villages also in 1 or 2 months gap time. Then also we can make it. Then I doubt whether this mediation, if it is failed, whether it has got any impact on the judgment. The reason being, we are expressing, as a client, I am expressing my grievance to the mediator. He will make a report. He may record the statement, whatever is mentioned there. That should not go to the there. That's what my. Then, apart from that, the mediation should not be like a Kata Panchayat in police station. I'm very sorry to say, it should not be a Kata Panchayat. Then finally, one more thing, suggestion to Lordship. The mediators who have been appointed by the district administration, they should not appear for the parties in the case. They will not. It happened. No. That happened. It may be exception. Yes. So, due to paucity of time, I wish the district mediation center a bright future and success in all its endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call upon Thiru P. Sebastian, Advocate of New District. address the gathering.
மதிப்பிக்கும் மரியாதைக்கும் உரிய சென்னை நீதிமன்ற ஐயா அவர்களே மற்றும் மாவட்ட நீதிபதி அவர்களே, செக்ரட்டரி அவர்களே மற்றும் மற்ற நீதிபதி அவர்களே, சகோதர சகோதரி அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். என்னுடைய அனுபவத்தில் நான் வந்து இந்த லீகல் எய்ட் வந்து நம்ம முதல் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணதுன்றது நம்ம லீகல் எய்ட் மீட்டிங் ஆஃபீஸ் போயிட்டுருப்பேன். என்ன நடக்குது, எப்படி நடக்குது, நம்ம என்ன இது பண்ணலான்னு பார்த்துட்ருக்கிறேன். முதல்ல இருந்து நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது ஒரு ஸ்டெப்பாக நம்ம என்னென்ன தப்பு நடக்குது, என்னென்ன பிரச்சனை இருக்குதோ சால்வ் பண்ணிட்டு வராங்க. இது ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் மாதிரி தான். எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு முன்னாடி இருந்து இந்த மாதிரி இன்ட்ராக்ட் வைக்கிறது, ஒரு மீட்டிங் வைக்கிறது பண்ணும்போது அதில் இருக்கிற டிஃபெக்ட் எல்லாம் பார்த்து என்ன இருக்குதுன்னு தெரிஞ்சு அதை சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கோம். சொல்லுவாங்க நம்ம எனக்கு என்னுடைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் சொல்கிறேன்னாக்கா, நான் வந்து அட்வொகேட்டாக வரதுக்கு முன்னால் வந்து ஒரு வாலண்டரி ஏஜென்சியில் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தேன். அப்போ நான் நிறைய வில்லேஜஸ், ட்ரைபல் வில்லேஜஸ்ஸு, எஸ்சி எஸ்டி வசிக்கும் இடங்களுக்கெல்லாம் போயிட்டு வரணும், ப்ராஜெக்டில் போடணும். அப்போ போடும்போது நிறைய ப்ராஜெக்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து கோடிக்கணக்கு லட்சக்கணக்கு வந்து மக்களுக்கு உதவி செய்யணும்னு பாடுறாங்க. ஆனால் அது வந்து அவங்க போய் சேர்றது. அந்த ப்ராஜெக்டில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா அந்த ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு தண்ணி, எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸில் ஒரு தொதவா மந்தில் வந்து ஒரு அந்த ஊருக்காக தண்ணி சப்ளை பண்ணுறதுக்காக ஒரு பைப் லைன் போடுறாங்க. போடும்போது அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுறாங்களோ, ஒரு அங்கே இருக்கிற எப்போ அந்த ட்ரைப்ஸ் வில்லேஜ் பக்கத்தில் ஒரு அவங்களுக்குன்னு ஒரு டெம்பிள் இருக்கும். அந்த டெம்பிள் பக்கத்தில் வந்து லேடிஸே போக மாட்டாங்க, போகிறதுக்கு அலோவ் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க கோயிலுக்கு. ஆனால் அங்கே தான் எடுத்துகிட்டு போய் இந்த குடி தண்ணி பைப் வச்சுட்ருக்காங்க. கோடிக்கணக்கான செலவு பண்ணி, அதாவது கிரவுண்ட் ப்ராப்ளம் தெரிகிறது இல்லை. சும்மா நம்ம கோடிக்கணக்கு செலவு பண்ணி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் போட்டுருது, ஏதோ மக்கள் போய் சேருதுன்னு. ஆனால் அதில் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, அந்த பைப் லைன் எடுத்துகிட்டு வந்து ஒரு கோயிலுக்கு முன்னால் வச்சுட்டாங்க. லேடிஸ் வந்து கோயிலுக்கே போக முடியாது, அங்கே எப்படி தண்ணி எடுப்பாங்க? அப்போ என்ன, அந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்து தவறான ப்ராஜெக்ட்டு. சும்மா ஐவரி டவரில் வந்துட்டு ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் போடுறோம், ஏதோ மக்களுடைய பணத்தை செலவு வேணால் வேஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். உங்களுக்கு அது உண்மையாக இல்லைங்களா? ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட்னா அந்த மக்களுக்காக போய் சேரணும். சேரலன்னு அந்த ப்ராஜெக்டை கோடிக்கணக்கு செலவு பண்ணிட்டு அது என்ன யூஸ் இருக்குது? அப்போ அது யார் சொல்ல வேண்டியது? அது பாதிக்கிறவன் தெரிஞ்சவன் வந்து ஐ ஆஃபீஸருக்கு சொல்லணும், இது ஒரு தவறான ப்ராஜெக்ட், இது தப்பானது, இது செய்யக்கூடாது, இதில் ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கிறது, அடுத்து செய்ய மாட்டாங்க. அது உண்மை எல்லா இடத்துலையும் நடந்துட்டு இருக்குது. அந்த மாதிரி நடக்காமல் இருக்கிறது தான் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட். என்ன மிஸ்டேக் இருக்குது, அது என்ன தவறு இருக்குது, அதை எப்படி செய்யணுன்றதை நம்ம இங்கே வந்து நம்ம சொல்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு வாய்ப்பு. என்ன தவறு இருக்குது, அது ஏன் நீங்கள் இப்போ பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? இவ்வாறு இந்த ஐவரி டவர் நம்ம படிச்சுட்டு இருக்கணும் சொல்லுவாங்க. நம்ம இங்கே ஒரு டெம்பிளில் மேலே உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு ஏதோ ஒரு ப்ராஜெக்ட் சொல்லிட்டு உட்காந்துருக்குற மாதிரி, அப்படி இருக்கக்கூடாது. அப்போ நம்ம இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் வந்து இப்போ எனக்கு நம்மளுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச வந்து லீகல் எய்டில் வந்து முதல்ல இருந்து ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப் என்னென்ன ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குது, என்ன தவறுன்றது நம்ம சொல்கிறத தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு தான் அந்த ப்ராஜெக்டை சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிட்டு வராங்க. நம்மளுக்கு தெரியுது பழைய காலத்தில் வந்து லீகல் எய்டு எப்படி இருக்குது, இப்போ இருக்கிற லீகல் எய்டு இப்படி நடக்குதுன்னு தெரியுது. எல்லாம் ஒரு சேஞ்சு. அப்போ அந்த சேஞ்ச் எல்லாம் வரும்போது இப்போ நம்ம இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம பண்ணும்போது நிறைய வந்து இந்த மாதிரி சொல்லும்போது அவங்களுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ்க்கு இதில் ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்குது, இதை சால்வ் பண்ணணும்னு சொல்கிறதுக்கு நல்ல ஒரு வாய்ப்பாக இருக்குது. அப்போ இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும்போது எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு வந்து நானும் வந்து லீகல் வேலை பண்ணும்போது நிறைய மீடியேஷன்லாம் பார்க்குறேன். மீடியேஷனில் பார்க்கும்போது என்னன்னாக்கா நம்மளுக்கு நிறைய பிரச்சனை என்னன்னாக்கா, நிறைய நம்ம ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது என்ன ஆகுதுனாக்கா, ரெண்டு பார்ட்டி இப்போ ஒரு மீடியேஷனை போய் உட்காந்திங்கனாக்கா நம்ம பார்ட்டிஸ் வந்து கூப்பிட்டு உட்காந்து வச்சுட்டு 2 பேர் உட்காந்து வச்சு பேசணும். ஆனால் அதில் வந்து என்ன ஆகுதுனாக்கா, அதனுடைய அங்கே வந்து பார்ட்டிஸ் வந்து பேருக்கு வந்து உட்காருவாங்க. அவங்களுடைய கைடன்ஸ் எல்லாம் வந்து அட்வொகேட்ஸ் கேட்கறதுக்கு, அவங்களுடைய அட்வொகேட்டை கேட்காம வந்து இங்கே உட்கார போகிறது இல்லை. அப்போ என்னென்னா அந்த அட்வொகேட்ஸ்க்கும் நம்ம வந்து அந்த என்கரேஜ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி அந்த இருந்தாக தான் இங்கே சக்ஸஸ் ஆகுது. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு வந்து நிறைய வந்து ஃபெயிலியருக்கு காரணம் வந்து நம்ம ஒரு கோஆப்ரேஷன் இல்லாமல் இருந்தோம். அதனால் அந்த மீடியேஷன் நிறைய பண்ணும்போது என்ன பண்ணுவேனாக்கா, தனியாக பார்ட்டிஸையும் வந்து 2 நாள் 3 நாள் வந்தாலும் அட்வொகேட்ஸையும் 2 நாள் வாங்கணும்னு சொல்லி பேசி ஒரு கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணுற மாதிரி பேசி பண்ணுவோம். அப்போ இங்கே என்ன இருக்குதுனாக்கா, நம்ம அட்வொகேட்ஸ்க்கு வந்து ஒரு அவேர்னஸ் ரொம்ப குறைவாக இருக்குது இந்த ப்ராஜெக்ட் எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா. அப்போ நம்ம வந்து அட்வொகேட்ஸுக்கும் இதில் வந்து நிறைய ப்ராஜெக்ட்டுக்கு நம்ம ஹெல்ப் பண்ணோம்னாக்கா அவங்களே என்கரேஜ் பண்ணி இதில் என்னென்ன பிரச்சனை இருக்குது நீங்களும் சால்வ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஒரு கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணணுன்றதுக்கு அங்கே ஒரு ஃபெயிலியர். அது நிறைய மீடியேஷன் பார்க்கும்போது ஃபெயிலியர் காரணமே வந்து அந்த 2 அட்வொகேட்ஸ் வந்து அந்த கிளைண்ட்ஸுடைய அட்வொகேட்ஸுடைய கோஆப்ரேஷன் இல்லாதனால அவங்க வந்து ஒரு டைரக்ஷன் கொடுக்கறனாலையோ நம்ம அங்கே உட்காந்துக்கிட்டு இது 2 பேரும் உட்கார வச்சுக்கிட்டு நம்ம வந்து இது தனியாக உட்கார வச்சுட்டு பாரு இதில் டிபால்ட் இருக்குது, இது பிரச்சனை இருக்குது, இது இப்படி பண்ணுங்க அப்படி பண்ணுங்க சொல்லி என்கரேஜ் பண்ண வேண்டியதாக இருக்குது. சரி, நான் அதே மாதிரி முதல்ல எப்போ இது ஒரு டிஃபெக்ட் இருக்குது இந்த ப்ராஜெக்டில், மீடியேஷனில் இது ஒரு பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. நம்ம வந்து மீடியேஷன் பண்ணும்போது அட்வொகேட்ஸை கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணாங்க, அது வந்து நமக்கு ஒரு சக்ஸஸாக இருக்கும். அதனால் நம்ம அட்வொகேட்ஸை வந்து எப்படி இன்வால்வ் பண்ண முடியும் நிறையா, அவங்களுக்கும் நம்ம எப்படி என்கரேஜ், இந்த மாதிரி வாலண்டரி மீட்டிங்கெல்லாம் கொடுத்து இந்த மாதிரி என்கரேஜ் பண்ணாக்க தான் நம்மளுக்கு இந்த சக்ஸஸாக இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமே வரும், இல்லைன்னா வராது. என்னத்தை நம்ம மீடியேஷன் வச்சு பண்ணாலும் நம்மளுக்கு வந்து அது ஒரு ஃபெயிலியர் தான். நம்ம ஒரு என்கரேஜ்மெண்ட் கிடையாது, கோஆப்ரேஷன் கிடையாது, லாஸ்ட் மினிட்ஸில் வந்து அது ஃபெயிலியர் ஆகிடுது. அதனால் முடிஞ்ச அளவு நம்ம அட்வொகேட்ஸ் வந்து இந்த மீடியேஷனில் இன்வால்வ் பண்ணி பண்ணுற மாதிரி பண்ணணும், அப்போ சக்ஸஸ் ஆகும். அப்போ நான் நிறைய கேஸுக்கு பார்த்துருக்கேன், மீடியேஷன் பண்ணும்போது பார்த்துருக்குறேன். அட்வொகேட்ஸும் நிறைய பேர் சப்ளை பண்ணி வராங்க. அப்புறம் இந்த என்னுடைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் சொல்கிறதுனாக்கா, முன்னால் நான் நினச்சேன் மீடியேஷன்னாக்கா ஃபேமிலி டிஸ்பியூட் பிரச்சனை பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் இது ரொம்ப ஈஸியாக இருக்குது சார். ஆனால் உண்மைதான். நிறைய ஃபேமிலிஸை நம்ம சேர்த்து வச்சுருக்கிறோம். நிறைய கேஸில் வந்து ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஒய்ஃப் பிரிஞ்சிருக்காங்க, அவங்க கூப்பிட்டு சேர்த்து வச்சு அவங்கள என்கரேஜ் பண்ணி அனுப்பியிருக்கிறோம். அப்போ நான் இதில் ஒரு சின்ன உங்களுக்கு ஒரு இது சொல்கிறேன், ஒரு பிரச்சனை சொல்கிறேன். நம்ம இந்த மாதிரி அட்வொகேட்ஸு மீடியேஷன் எல்லாம் பண்ணும்போது அந்த கோர்ட்டையும் சொல்கிறது, ஜட்ஜி நான் சொல்கிறது, ஒரு மீடியேஷன் நடத்தி சக்ஸஸ் ஆகி ஒரு 2 ஃபேமிலியும் சேர்ந்து ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஒய்ஃபு சேர்த்து வச்சு நாங்கள் மீடியேட்டர்ஸ் இதே மாதிரி அட்வொகேட்ஸையும் வச்சு சேர்த்து வச்சு பண்ணி கடைசியில் அந்த ஜட்ஜிக்கிட்ட சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க, இத்தனை நாள் நாங்கள் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு மீடியேஷன் நடத்தினோம், இது சக்ஸஸை பண்ணிட்டோம், இது ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுத்து நம்ம ஹைகோர்ட் மீடியேஷன் சென்டருக்கு அனுப்பலாம், இது ஒரு சக்ஸஸ் ஸ்டோரி. அப்புறம் நோ, ஐ கேனாட் இருந்தார், இட் இஸ் நாட் ரைட். நம்ம மீடியேஷன் பண்ணுறதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு என்கரேஜ் பண்ணி எத்தனை நாள் நாங்கள் ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு தெரியுங்களா? 2 months 3 months நாங்கள் ஒர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் மீடியேஷனில். அது ஒரு அட்வொகேட்ஸ்க்கு ஒரு என்கரேஜ்மெண்ட் இல்லை, மீடியேட்டர்ஸ்க்கு என்கரேஜ் இல்லை, அது வந்து சக்ஸஸ் வர்றதுக்கு ஒரு சான்ஸ் இல்லை. அப்போ இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறது நம்ம ஒன்றும் பெருசாக ஒன்றும் கேட்க போகிறதில்ல. சரி, 2 ஹஸ்பண்ட் ஒய்ஃப் சேர்ந்துருக்காங்க, குழந்தையோட வந்துட்டு இருக்காங்க, 2 மீடியேட்டர்ஸ் நாங்கள் நின்றுருக்கிறோம், அட்வொகேட் இருக்காங்க, ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ பிடிச்சி ஹைகோர்ட்டுக்கு ஒரு சக்ஸஸ் ஸ்டோரின்னு அனுப்புறது என்ன தப்பாக இருக்குது? உங்கள் மேலே எந்த ஆக்ஷன் எடுக்க போகிறது இல்லை, எதுவும் சீதை எடுப்பாங்கன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. அது ஏன் சொல்கிறேன்னாக்கா, அது ஒரு சின்ன உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு சின்ன விஷயமா இருக்கலாம். அட்வொகேட்ஸுக்கு வந்து ஒரு மீடியேஷன் தான் ஒரு 3 months என்கரேஜ் பண்ணுறோம். அட்வொகேட்ஸுக்கு மீடியேட்டுக்கு ஒரு என்கரேஜாக இருக்கணுன்றேன். மற்றபடி நம்ம ஒரு ஃபோட்டோ எடுக்கிறதுனால எங்களுக்கு ஹைகோர்ட்டுக்கு அனுப்பணும், அது ஒரு பெருசு கிடையாது. 2 ஃபேமிலி சேர்த்து வைக்கிறது எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப பெருசு, அதுதான் எங்களுக்கு சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன். அதனால வந்து ஒரு ஃபேமிலி மேட்டர்ஸ் அது மாதிரி பண்ணுறது இல்லாமல் ஒரு சின்ன இந்த மாதிரி இருக்க மாதிரி நான் நினச்ச முதல் ஃபேமிலி பிரச்சனை தான் தீர்ப்போம். ஆனால் வந்து இன்னொரு மீடியேஷனை வந்து நான் ஒரு கூடூர் ஒரு கேஸ் கொண்டு போயிருந்தேன். அது ஒரு 2 or 5 years வந்து அது பெண்டிங் ஆகிடுச்சார் கேஸ். அப்படி அந்த மாதிரி 5 years கேஸ் இருந்தால் கூட அது பெரிய ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி, ஒரு பெரிய டீ ஃபேக்ட்ரி பிரச்சனை, அது ஒரு 10 years இருந்துச்சு. நாங்கள் ஒரு மீடியேஷன் வந்து நம்ம கொடுத்த டைம் லிமிட்டட் 6 months கூட கிடையாது, அதுக்கு மேலே கூட வச்சு நாங்கள் வந்து அதை செட்டில் பண்ணோம். 10 years கேஸை அது கூடூர் அட்வொகேட்ஸ் கிட்ட வச்சு நாங்கள் கேஸ் பண்ணோம். அது எங்களுக்கு பெரிய சக்ஸஸ். நான் நினைச்ச ஒரு ஒன்றும் இல்லாதவங்க தான் நம்ம லீகல் மீடியேஷன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம்னு நினைச்சோம். ஆனால் அது கோடிக்கணக்கான ப்ராப்பர்ட்டி, அது சுப்ரீம் கோர்ட் போகிற வேண்டிய கேஸு. நாங்கள் இங்கே வந்து 6 months மேலே கூட டைம் எடுத்து முடித்தோம். அதனால வந்து நம்ம வந்து எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச அளவுக்கு நம்ம மீடியேஷனை வந்து அட்வொகேட்ஸ் வந்து இன்வால்வ் ஆனாக்கா இது ரொம்ப சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும்னு கேட்டுட்டு, இது மாதிரி மீட்டிங்கில் வைக்கணும், இது உதவியாக இருக்கும்னு கேட்டுட்டு தெரிஞ்சு நன்றி.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call Thiru R. Nanjundan, advocate, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Portfolio Judge, Mr. Justice G.K. Elanthirayan, Judge High Court of Madras, our Honorable PDJ, Mr. Abdul Khader, who has recently taken over the district judiciary, my beloved Honorable President come Mahila Judge come Family Judge Mrs. Sridharan, Mr. K. Lingam, the sub-judge who we had acquaintance with him while he was working as sub-judge at Kuno, my beloved President of our bar, Mr. Mahadevan, Secretary, my brother Mr. Sivakumar, other office bearers, the land, judicial officers of the district, senior members, lady members, the press and the court staff. My sincere greetings to you one and all. Well, we are here to have an interaction on the success of mediation, I would say. Now, we around 15 members of the bar were the first batch of mediators who were trained during 2011. For the past about 13 years we have been working as the mediators. And thereafter many more members of the bar have inducted as the mediators. Well, the issue here is that the mediation is still in a rudimentary stage. It has not developed, which we expected. It is due to lack of dissemination, because in my personal view, most of the litigating public as well as the general public do not even know what is mediation, what is the object of mediation. That needs to be taken care of, because today I am seeing only we are here. There is no public litigant to listen to our voice. Only it's meant for the public litigant and the general public. But we are holding a meeting or treatise in a closed room, which in my view would not have much assistance. Therefore, I request the district administration, the judicial administration, to disseminate the objects of mediation, the benefits of mediation to the general public, so that the public would be aware of availing the fruits of mediation. This point may be taken note of by the district judiciary. Now, coming to the practical issue of mediation, for the past 12 years, we have been holding mediation proceedings, but not only myself, most of the mediators would endorse my view. Around 50% of the mediation proceedings ends in failure report. The reasons for this failure report are attributable to many aspects than the mediator's proficiency. Because, as rightly put my other speakers, that the counsels on record, advocates on record of litigating public or the warring groups are not taken into confidence unless until the presiding judges convince the the counsels, both the parties on record, and to impress upon them to cooperate with the mediator for success of the mediation. I am confident that no mediation would end in success, because the advocates on record, the counsels on record, litigating public, play a vital role in either
getting success in the mediation or failure. It is in their hand exclusively. No mediator can boast himself that without the consent or the knowledge or the cooperation of the counsels on record, he had got success in the mediation. It's my experience. Unless until the mediator takes the counsels on record in confidence, it's my experience that no mediation ends in success. My way of mediation is that when a matter is referred to me, I used to spend from my pocket by providing tea and snacks and other things to the mediator and the warring public. Not for any personal interest, but to somehow instill confidence in me that yes, he is my friend, he is my elder, he is my mentor. Then accordingly, the mediation goes on, separate sessions, joint session, etc. The advocates concerned, when I call them on phone, they would say, Vara, but they would not come. Because what I observed is that they don't directly object the mediation process, but they tell to the parties, their clients, just go the opposite way and come back, I will take care. That's what practically happened. I understand that the counsels on record might not have received some fees. That's the reason they are not cooperating. That's the reason I used to adjourn the matter for longer time so that the parties would go and meet the advocate concerned and see that the matter is settled. But the problem lies with the litigants. They don't go and see the counsels on record. See, although we claim that we are mediators, it's a survival for us. Any advocate has got one or two briefs here. Unless until that advocate concerned is reasonably paid, he will not cooperate for allowing the mediator to settle the matter. So that aspect has also to be taken care of. I used to personally tell the parties concerned, please go and meet your advocate and tell him that today what is the proceedings gone, and take him also into confidence and bring him also next hearing. But the parties do not meet the advocate concerned. They think that by fooling, by cheating their own advocate, they will get the things done. There is also a practical difficulty I am facing. So, I am persistently of the view that unless until, as our president rightly told, unless until the advocates on record are taken into confidence, the mediation shall never be a success. Now, another issue, we have tried for more than 12 years, but accepting the post-litigation mediation, cases, we are not offered with any matters for pre-litigation issues. Why not we I am asking. We are tried. We can also deal with pre-litigation matters. There are many bank cases being resolved by the DSLEA. And when I put these words to my President DSLEA, his reply was that, no sir, you are not competent to deal with that, because High Court has not given any power to us to refer pre-litigation matters to the mediators. So, your Lordship may kindly take note of this and see that, because it's a small city, cases are very less. Post-litigation matters are very, very less. It is not an industrial city. The cases being filed in courts are very, very, very limited compared to the number of other districts and number of members in the bar. So this issue can kindly be taken note of, and see that mediators also given the task of pre-litigation cases such as bank cases and other matters, so that we will be enthused to work. And I have got another suggestion. The presiding judges, although section 89 of CPC prescribes that the ADR mechanism has to be resorted to before taking the matter on file, matter to trial, but practically we are seeing that all the matters need not be referred to the mediation or conciliation or other ADR mechanism, because that is only enabling the parties to gain time. The matters are referred to the mediator. The decision says that ama, it will okay adjourn for 3 months, 6 months. What purpose is being served? So that is the reason I am asking, requesting the presiding judges, please take the counsels on record into confidence before referring the matter to mediation or other ADR mechanism. Well, sir, even in my experience, I will endorse the view that being a mediator, I felt immense pressure when the matter is resolved, because in many matrimonial cases which were resolved 10 years back, even every year the reunited spouses come to my office, take my brief blessings with the child. The pleasure I am earning from that, it is not that what I am earning from my profession. So we do endorse that mediation is the best way of resolution of the disputes. But what I feel is that, sincerely feel is that the mediation is still in a rudimentary stage. It needs to be enthused. It needs to be propagated to the litigating public and general public in whatever the mode and means and media. I take this opportunity that I think I have viewed my suggestions in a healthy perspective that has to be taken care of by the judiciary, not in the offending mode, but in healthy perspective. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call upon Thiru R. Dinesh, Advocate, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
My Lord, Honorable District Judge and Chairman of the Regulate Committee and Secretary, dear President, Secretary and members of the Bar, good afternoon to all. So today's conference went like a law college coaching to the advocates. So I take a little bit, with the permission of Lordship, I want to say how the crux of the issue, how to conduct mediations. During my college days, I watched one movie. The movie name is called Chinna Counter. The Chinna Counter movie is totally based on mediation, how to conduct mediation. There, only one scene. The hero is sitting for the Panchayat. The Panchayat was conducted. Within a matter of 5 seconds, the matter has been solved. The camera focused to the comedian, along with one advocate is standing there. The comedian comments, இந்த வழக்கு உங்ககிட்ட வந்திருந்தா ஜம்பு இழுப்பு இழுத்துப்பீங்க. That during the period of my college days, it is a little bit pricking me. How come such a type of dialogues and things are gone? After that, I came to the profession. I understand all the aspects why the comedian used that word and how the picturization was made in that movie. Here, I discussed one matter with my good friend Rajesh and our advocate B. Radhakrishnan day before yesterday. The matter is that when divorce case came to before one judge, the wife is not willing to reunion with the husband. The matter was 2023 matter. Matter is posted for the counter. The husband wants to drag the matter. He is not willing to counter. He is not willing to pay in compensation. So the judge asked, wife is not ready for reunion. Then what is the necessity to keep the proceedings in the court? We go for one compromise settlement. Initially, the husband, vice versa, no, I take my child. No, I want to live with my wife. All these things, the counterpart. Everything has been established by the husband. Finally, within a matter of, the matter was called in the open court in the calling work. In a matter of another 10 minutes, the judge convinced the parties. Both the parties agreed for the divorce. The application filed by the wife under the cruelty. Subsequently, the court directed the parties and advocates to file another 3 petitions. We are ready to convert the matter as mutual proceedings, and maintenance part and children's part we will take care of. This was happened in our district court day before yesterday. So the judicial officers also equipped with the law. The matter has been solved within a span of 10 minutes, though that is the crux, how to handle the mediation matters. This is, I want to mark this before this gathering. Please take care of if you conducted any mediation, and also trained mediator conducting a lot of mediations. Apart from that, my advice is that so many mediators says the advocate is not cooperating for the mediation, the client is not cooperation for the mediation. But I want to willing to say one thing. Mediator should not act as a judge. If you want to act as a judge, the entire mediation will go off. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call Tirupati Chandra Bose, Advocate, to address the gathering, please, sir.
Honorable Justice Saikoda Madras, Honorable District Judge, Honorable Chairman, Mediation Center, Neil District, Honorable Secretary, Mediation Center, Neil District, and respected President and Secretary and Office Bearer of the Neil District Bar Association, and Honorable Judicial Office of the Neil District, and brother and sister members of the bar. Why mediation is one? an opportunity for litigants to directly negotiate and finally resolve the disputes. Forum to validate the emotions and know the opponent's perspectives on first hand. To supplement courts in rendering speedy justice. To increase faith in judiciary, advocate, and justice delivery system and make more people to approach courts for redressing their grievances. How mediation? Mediation centers are set up in all districts. Mediation centers have trained mediators en route. Mediators will be referred for mediation by the courts. Mediators will be allotted to deal with the matters. Both parties have to appear before the center with a dispute upon which mediation will be conducted. Final outcome alone, whether settled or not, will be informed to the court. Mediators first explain the causes of mediation and the benefits of settling the issues. Mediators establish an informal and comfortable atmosphere for the parties. Mediators enhance, establish, and channelize direct, honest, and appropriate communication between parties. Mediators concentrate on emotional issues, needs, and future interests of the parties. Mediators help parties to negotiate, collaborate, and find out the solutions. Win-win situation emerges. Benefits of mediations. Economic benefits for both parties. Saves time, energy, and money. Relieves the agony of the parties. Practical, collaborative, and innovative solutions. Re-establishes relationships. Address the core conflict and final future-oriented solutions to the parties. These are the benefits of the mediations. Our senior member, Mr. Mogadhan, has already told the advocate should cooperate to the matter to settle. He is rightly find out because some of the cases already discussed with senior. ஒரு எனக்கும் சாருக்கு ஒரு எம்சிபி கேஸ் இருந்தது. அப்போ மிஸ் பிரேம்குமார் டிசிஷன் இருந்தாங்க. சார்ட்டு ஒரு மீடியேஷன் போயிருக்கு. நான் கிளைம் பண்ணது 14 lakhs அதில் கிளைம் பண்ணியிருந்தோம். சார்ட்டு போயிருக்கும்போது 50,000 தான் இஸ் அக்ரி. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி செட்டிலே ஆகலை. And I pointed to him, this is the fact between the advocates. So advocates should cooperate to all the matters to conclude. That's why I am saying this. சைவத்தில் ஒரு கன்சர்ன் டைவர்ஸ் ஓபி வந்து குன்னூரில் நான் ஃபைல் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். ஸோ எல்லா மேட்டருமே வந்து நம்ம மீடியேஷன் தான் போகணுன்ற மாதிரி இருக்குது அப்படின்னா அதை கொஞ்சம் நம்ம யோசிக்கணும். இப்போ இந்த கன்சர்ன் டைவர்ஸில் வந்து போத் பார்ட்டிஸ் நாட் வில்லிங் டு லிவ் டுகெதர். ஆல்ரெடி டிவி கேஸ் போட்டு அது செட்டில் ஆகிடுச்சு. அவங்க அந்த ஒய்ஃபுக்கு தேவையான என்ன மெயின்டெனன்ஸ் அமௌண்ட் அது ஆல்ரெடி செட்டில் டோட்டல். இப்போ அந்த கன்சர்ன் ஓபியில் வந்து கோர்ட் என்ன சொல்கிறாங்கன்னா, திஸ் மேட்டர் ரெஃபர் டு த மீடியேஷன், இட் வில் டேக் சம் மோர் டைம்ஸ். அப்போ இந்த மாதிரி இஷ்யூஸை வந்து நம்ம வந்து அந்த டைம் கொடுக்காம அதை சீக்கிரம் முடித்தோம் அப்படின்னா பார்ட்டி வில் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் மை ரிக்வஸ்ட். I thank you all to give a chance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I call Thiru K. Vijayan Advocate to address the gathering. Please, sir.
தமிழக சமரச மற்றும் ஆற்றுப்படுத்தினர் மையத்தினுடைய தலைமையில் நடத்தப்பட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இந்த நிகழ்விலே கலந்திருக்கிற மாண்புமிகு நீதிபதி பெருமக்களே, போற்றுதலுக்குரிய வழக்கறிஞர் நண்பர்களே,
நீலகிரி மாவட்ட நீதிமன்ற அமைச்சு பணியாளர்களே, எப்போதுமே இந்த புரோட்டோகால்னு சொல்லி ஒரு ஜஸ்டிஸ் ஐயாவுடைய பெயர்களை சொல்வதையெல்லாம் தவிர்ப்பார்கள். மன்னிக்கவும், உங்கள் பெற்றோருக்கு நன்றி பாராட்டி தமிழில் இளம் திரையன் என்ற பெயரை தவிர்த்து போவதற்கு எனக்கு விருப்பமில்லை. மிக அற்புதமான பெயர். இன்றைக்கு நீலகிரி மாவட்டத்தில் எங்கள் மத்தியில் நீங்கள் வந்திருக்கிறீர்கள், மகிழ்கிறோம். நேச நெஞ்சங்களே, மிக எளிமையான விஷயம். உலகமயமாக்கல், தாராள மயமாக்கல் வந்த பிறகு எல்லா துறைகளிலும், அரசியல், சமூக, பொருளாதாரம் சார்ந்த துறைகளில் ஏற்பட்ட மிகப்பெரிய மாற்றங்கள், அவை கிளர்த்திய நன்மை திண்மைகளின் ஒரு பாகமாக சமரச மையங்கள், ஆற்றுப்படுத்தினர் மையங்கள் எல்லாம் உருவாக்கின. தொடக்க காலத்திலே எப்போதுமே வழக்கறிஞர்கள் இந்த ஆற்றுப்படுத்து மையங்களை பார்க்கும்போது, சமரச மையங்களை பார்க்கும்போது விலகி நின்றோம். இந்த நிமிடம் வரை மரியாதைக்குரிய மாவட்ட நீதிபதி அவர்களும் சமரச மையத்தினுடைய தலைவர் செயலர் அவர்களும் இன்றைக்கு விலகி நின்ற ஒரு குழுவை, அதாவது வழக்கறிஞர்கள், அவர்கள் ஏற்கனவே தங்கள் பயிராய் விளைவித்து ஆற்றுப்படுத்தி பயிற்சி கொடுத்த ஒரு 40 வழக்கறிஞர்கள், அடுத்து நீதிபதி பெருமக்கள், இந்த முத்தரப்பையும் இன்றைக்கு கலந்தாய்வுக்கு அழைத்து பெருமரியாதைக்குரிய ஷீலா ஜெயபிரகாஷ் அவர்களை நமக்கு வகுப்பெடுக்க இங்கு அழைத்திருக்கிறார்கள். நல்ல நிகழ்வு. ஒரு நேசத்திற்காக சொல்லுவார்கள், உன் வழி எதுவானாலும் என் விழி அதை பார்க்கும். மிக இயல்பாகவே ஒரு வழக்காடிக்கு வழக்கு நடாத்துகிற ஒரு வழக்கறிஞர் என்று சொல்லப்படுபவன் தன்னுடைய வழக்காடிக்கு எது கிடைக்க வேண்டுமோ அதற்காக போராட வேண்டும். நீதிமன்றத்தில், சமரச மையத்தில், இன்னும் இருக்கிற களங்களில். ஆனால் இங்கே எப்போதுமே ஒரு சுழற்சி முறை வரும் பாருங்கள். என்னுடைய அறிவார்ந்த மூத்த வழக்கறிஞர்கள் சொன்னதை போல கிராமங்களில் பஞ்சாயத்து சபைகள் இருந்தன, சமாதான கூட்டங்கள் நடந்தன. அதிலிருந்து நாகரீக சமூகம் மேம்பட்டு நிற்க, நடக்க, எழுத, பேச என்ற உரிமைகளை வகுத்து அதை வரைமுறைப்படுத்தி, அந்த வரைமுறையிலிருந்து மேலெடுந்து நீதி பரிபாலனம் என்கிற ஒரு அமைப்பை உருவாக்கி, இன்றைக்கு அந்த அமைப்பினுடைய போதாமை என்று சொல்லி நாம் ஒரு சமரச மையத்தை, ஒரு ஆற்றுப்படுத்தினர் மையத்தை உருவாக்கி இருக்கிறோம். இது ஒரு சுழற்சி முறை. பெல்ஸ் போட்டு, டைட்ஸ் போட்டு, முக்கா பென் போட்டு, ஆப்டர்ஸ் போட்டு வந்து 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 போகிற ஒரு இது மீண்டுமே திரும்ப வரும். இட் ரிப்பீட்ஸ். ஆக இந்த காலச்சூழலில், இந்த பரிமாணத்தில் எந்த விஷயம் ஒரு வழக்காடிக்கு தீர்வை தருமோ அதை தூக்கி நிறுத்தி போவது நம்முடைய கடப்பாடு. அந்த கடப்பாடை நோக்கி நம்மை நகர்த்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இது போன்ற நிகழ்வுகள் மீண்டும் மீண்டும் நடக்க வேண்டும். என்னுடைய வழக்கறிஞர் தோழர்கள் சொன்னதை போல இல்லம் தேடி செல்லுகிற சட்டமாக, கருவறையிலிருந்து கல்லறை வரை இந்த மனிதத்திற்கு, இந்த எப்போதுமே இந்த மீடியேஷன் ஒரு ஹியூமன் டச் இருக்கும். அது மீண்டும் மீண்டுமே நிகழ வேண்டும். அநேகமா ஒரு சின்ன பிரிகாஷனரி இது சொல்லிடுறேன். ஐயா டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட் ஜட்ஜ் இருக்கும்போது மீடியேஷனுக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஆபத்து. அடி 2 நிமிஷம் 3 நிமிஷம் ஒரு வழக்க முடியுது. அதனால கொஞ்சம் கவனமா இருந்துக்கங்க. இது ஆஃப் தி ரெக்கார்ட், ஆன் தி ரெக்கார்டா வச்சுக்கோங்க. சோ மகிழ்ச்சி. ரொம்ப அற்புதமான இந்த நிகழ்வு. மீண்டுமே எங்களுடைய மாவட்டத்திற்கு வருகை தந்திருக்கிற ஐயா நீதிபதி இளந்திரையன் ஐயா அவர்களுக்கு நித்தம் நீ நடக்க நிலமெல்லாம் பூ பூக்கும் சத்தியத்து வேந்திய சரித்திரத்து பூமகனே எத்திக்கும் எத்திக்கும் உன்புகளே உன்புகளே என நான் ஏற்றி போற்றி பாடி தாய் தமிழால் வணங்கி வாழ்த்தி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I finally call upon Thiru K.M. Balaji, Advocate Nilgiris, to address the gathering. Please, sir. Upon popular request, please, sir.
Honorable judges, on the dais, off the dais. In fact, this is my maiden speech. I tried all my best to avoid calling my name here. See, people have seen me representing in courts, think that I also talk elsewhere. Except in court, I have not spoken anywhere. I'm not a trained mediator, and the cases which I handle also does not get referred to mediation. So therefore, I have not had this experience of going for mediation. But after all, hearing all the learned luminaries speaking here and the senior members talking about this mediation, I now find that I should also equip myself, because I find that there are even lawyer community, lawyer people, we are not aware of what mediation is. See, there are several terms. It is called as mediation, it is called as arbitration, it is called as conciliation. There are subtle differences in all these terms I think we are not still aware of. Only when this is being addressed and the students from the law college are equipped, when we studied law, I don't think we studied about arbitration, we studied about mediation and ADR systems and all. Now, what I would earnestly appeal to the dignitaries that these systems are to be imbibed in the syllabus in the law college itself, so that okay, I am not aware of that. So only from that stage, if we are able to impart knowledge on these topics to the students, I think it will develop. As every speaker here told, that lawyers were hurdled regarding the settlement of disputes. To a certain extent, yes, but I feel only if the lawyer is able to convince the client, I think the mediation ends in a success. The lawyer's role in settling of a dispute is huge. So I personally feel that the lawyer community also should be taken into consideration while considering the mediations. I thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With that, the felicitation address for the day has come to an end. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is rather the ability to handle conflict by cordial means. Our district judge cum chief judicial magistrate of the Nilgiris district, A. Abdul Kader, is the best exemplification of the above quote, and I call upon him to present the statistics and the best practice of the district. Please, sir.
Lord, Honorable Mr. Justice Anandarayan, High Court Madras, Member, Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee, and respected brother, Mr. R. Sridharan, Chairman, District Mediation Center, respected brother, Mr. K. Lingam, Coordinator, District Mediation Center, and my dear judicial officers, Mrs. Sheila Jayaprakash, Senior Trainer of Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee, and President and Secretaries of Bar Associations Ooty, Kunur, Kotagiri and Kudlur, and the senior members of the bar, who are here to felicitate the August occasion. To begin with, coming to the court is a civilized form of ventilating grievance. So we are not preventing anybody to come to the court. Everybody has to come to the court. Thereafter, the matter can be settled. Here we are having 8,200 odd cases. But the litigation, the matters worth for litigation is not than 50,000 in this Nilgiris district itself. Nobody is willing to come to the court because of the latches and the delay. Now that National Court Management System Committee has recommended disposal of cases that should be in commensation with the inflow of cases. We are aware Afghan construction have carved out some principles that can be taken into consideration, and that we are in our district that we are taking up pre-institution mediation regarding commercial litigation by the District Legal Service Authority as notified by the central government, that it is in good progress. And, now we are also conducting inquiry under Order 10 of CPC in every cases and try to solve the dispute even on the completion of pleadings. And we are also eager to invoke Order 12, Rule 6 of CPC if the bar admits us to pass a degree in case of admission, either in writing or in other means. And we are also resorting to procedure contemplated in Section 89 of CPC. And now, after the judgment of Joseph Stein versus Union of India, now there was a shift in litigation regarding matrimonial matters. The older way of dealing with the matters of a divorce case or other case for 10 years may not serve the purpose, because to save the institution of marriage, the litigation regarding divorce has to end in a shorter span. Otherwise, it will lead to some disorders and hazardous results. So, we are intending to educate the bar and the judicial officers as well as the public regarding the impact of the said judgment. Now, keeping the case pending before the court for divorce will not serve the purpose. So, we are intending for separate session regarding the impact of the said judgment. And now we are also planning for issuance of POMNET along with the suit summons that will go with the suit summons regarding alternate dispute resolution system. And regarding, there was a grievance regarding motor action claims. Now we are intending to implement the judgment of the Supreme Court in Gohar Mohammed. And even before entering into the adjudication process, we will try to settle the matter. And we expect the filing of motor action cases before the district, before this district, and not to venture upon going to some other district. The accidents which are happening here can be taken up here itself. And now there is a provision for filing the report, and advocates may not be facilitated with the records relating to the criminal cases, and they need not rush to the police station, and we will comply with the judgment of the Supreme Court. And we have judge mediators here, and we can also mediate. And apart from like other districts, we have mediators not only in the district headquarters and in the taluks also. And we are also expressing that we will take steps, mediation through video conference facility, and the insistence of the party in person will not be insisted, and video conferencing facility can be avoided, and we are ready to facilitate the said aspect. And there is a forum called Permanent Local Adalat that it is set to be publicized. It has powers to pass orders and also mediate and also conciliate, and in respect of public utility services. That can be, we are also intending that the forum has to be strengthened. And with the above statistics, and we have totally 8,265 cases pending before the entire, in all the courts, and out of which 1,239 cases have been referred to mediation, and 107 cases have been settled, and 483 cases are yet to be settled in the process, they are in the process of settlement. And in respect of Mr. R. Hariharan, mediator, 93 cases have been referred, and he has settled 14 cases, and he is in the process of settling other cases. Mr. Nanjundan, in respect of Mr. Nanjundan, 83 cases have been referred, and he has settled 7 cases, and he is in the process of settling other cases. In respect of Mrs. Lada Balasubramanian, mediator, she was referred with 46 cases, and she has settled 3 cases, and Mr. Sebastian have been referred with 101 cases, and he has settled 7 cases. Mrs. Aruna Ravikumar have been referred with 94 cases and she has settled 13 cases. Mr. N.V. Gunasegaran have been referred with 95 cases and he has settled 7 cases. Mr. K.R. Prakash Babu have been referred with 78 cases and he has settled 5 cases. And Mr. Dinesh have been referred with 79 cases and he has settled 4 cases. And Mr. S. Rajesh have been referred with 100 cases and he has settled 13 cases. And Mr. I. Manikumar have been referred with 56 cases and he has settled 2 cases. And Mr. B. Radhakrishnan have been referred with 21 cases and he has settled 1 case. And Mr. Rangasamy have been referred with 14 cases and he has settled 2 cases. Mr. K. Srihari have been referred with 22 cases and he has settled 2 cases. And Mr. Shivkumar have been referred, M. Shivkumar have been referred with 22 cases and he has settled 1 case. Mr. Ravi Kumar, Mr. Lipika, Mr. Sri Geeta, Mr. Kavita, Miss T. Kavita, Mrs. K.R. Kavita have been referred with 18 cases. Miss Nirmala Selvi have been referred with 19 cases and she had settled 3 cases. Miss R. Revati have been referred with 15 cases and she has settled 1 case. Mr. D. Vishwanath have been referred with 14 cases and she has settled 2 cases. Miss N. Sakila have been referred with 16 cases. Miss R. Ranjani have been referred with 16 cases and she has settled 2 cases. Miss N.G. Champaga Malini have been referred with 19 cases and she has settled 5 cases. Miss K. Menaga have been referred with 18 cases and she has settled 1 case. Mrs. G. Tyagarajan have been referred with 9 cases and he had settled 1 case. Mrs. N. Nirmala have been referred with 17 cases and she has settled 2 cases. Mr. Ibu State have been referred with 11 cases and he has settled 1 case. Mr. K. Balasubramanian have been referred with 10 cases and he has settled 1 case. Mr. M. Viju Zakaria have been referred with 12 cases and he has settled 2 cases. Mr. Babu have been referred with 10 cases. Mr. P. Nagadevi have been referred with 11 cases and she had settled 2 cases. Mr. R. Ganeshan have been referred with 10 cases. Mr. R. Vijaykumar have been referred with 12 cases and he has settled 1 cases. Mr. K. J. Suresh, Mr. K. Bhaskaran, Mr. Sudesh Kumar have been referred with 9, 8, 7 cases. Mr. V. Krishna Kumar have been referred with 5 cases. Mr. K. Afsalja, Ms. Afsalja have been referred with 9 cases. And Mr. Shinu Varghese have been referred with 7 cases and settled 2 cases. Totally 1,239 cases have been referred and it is in the process of settlement. And with the above statistics, we are in particular in the national stage of ADR and the mediation. We strive to achieve the purple zone and with the cooperation of the bench and the bar and other stakeholders. In this data, we will try to achieve. And regarding the grievance raised by the bar, that the reference of matter regarding mutual consent to the mediation, that will take care that here and after it will not happen. And in respect of other dispute, including the advocates in the system is concerned, that though advocates may not be a party to the proceedings in proceedings, but still they are party to the litigation, so they are not outsiders, and will take care of the remuneration to the mediator as well as the litigants as well as the counsels for the parties. And it is not the case that all the cases are going to be referred to mediation and the matter will be settled and the court will be of no work, and more cases are settled in mediation, that there will be more inflow of cases. Now we are having 8,250 cases. If 5,000 cases are settled in mediation, our courts will receive at least 25,000 cases in the near future. So settlement of cases will not be a bar or will not be a problem for the advocates. Cases in which, when cases are settled, certainly inflow of cases will certainly increase. With a few words, I thank Ponumbo.
Thank you, sir, for appraising the crowd with the statistics and the best practices of the district. We promise to extend our support in all means possible. Now, coming to the crux of the day, the stage is open for the tripartite meeting and interaction with Mrs. Sheila Jaiprakash, Senior Trainer of the Tamil Nadu Mediation and Conciliation Committee.
Thank you. Before I take any, doubts, questions from you, there are a few issues that popped up all the time. And one is lawyers. Now, lawyers are a necessary evil in this situation of mediation. We cannot wish them away. So what do? Now, one group of you are lawyers and mediators. One group of you are just lawyers. Now, I'm going to ask a question of the group that are lawyers and mediators. When you are a mediator, you think that the lawyers are a hindrance. Okay? Sometimes you take off your mediator hat and you are the lawyer for the litigant. How do you behave? How do you behave when you are a lawyer for the litigant? Are you behaving the same way as when you are a mediator? Is there anyone to give me some thought on this? Okay. So, is there anybody who says I'm the same, or is there some difference? When you are a mediator, you approach everything from a different angle. You want to settle. When you are the lawyer for the litigant, you are looking at it from a different angle. You want the best for your client, not for both together. So we have to see that this is the approach. That even mediators don't approach it the same way. So how do you expect a lawyer who's not a mediator to change? But there has to be a change, and it will come. I think I am glad that many of the senior members of the bar expressed the desire for lawyers to put down their own ego and their earning capacity and become very charitable. It's very difficult. I did a mediation where I did non-consummated marriage, 26-year-old girl and 29-year-old boy, and I finished. I was the counsel for the woman, but I knew how badly we needed to settle it. We settled it. The other side lawyer came and told me, "Amma, ungalku chinna pulla kutti illa, school ku anupuradhukku fees ketta vendiyadhu irukku illa, adanal neenga settle pannittu poikitte irupinga." For me, this is my bread and butter. OP, 3 years perko, apro appeal irukku, Supreme Court varaikam kuda perkalam. I said, "Sir, but they're 26 years old. Non-consummated marriage. This is not a pension benefit for you. It is something that is, somebody else's like." Then he told me, "Neenga apdi paapinga, enna pulavudi illa school ku anupuradhukku." So we have to take that into account also. What happens is, the learned president said that to pay the litigants, lawyers also. That's going to be very difficult, because for that, it's going to be an order from the government, from, the amount of funds that come in. I think our funds are hardly covering our costs now. Another difficulty with that is, I don't know, I may be wrong, is then, if you say, if a lawyer settles the case in mediation, we will pay the litigant's lawyer, then the interest for the lawyer is to push for a settlement. Where goes the question of voluntarily settling between the parties? You have another force pushing them to settlement because your interest is there. So we have to take all this into account before we do any of that. But one thing I want to say is that mediation, even if you go to a country like Singapore or to the West, lawyers who are in arbitration earn more than lawyers who are in litigation. Okay? Lawyers in these countries in mediation earn more than lawyers in arbitration. Why? Because, especially taking into account commercial disputes. Any company, any commercial organization wants to finish it. Time is money for them. So, we have to start pushing that in. It is for the lawyers. I think instead of leaving the lawyers out, why don't we rope them in? Tell them this is more beneficial for you. The more cases you finish, the quicker you finish cases, the more cases come to you. You're building up a reputation as a lawyer who finishes. But fix the fee with your party first. That is it. If we finish in litigation, over a period of 6 years, I am going to get fees of so much money. If we finish it in mediation, my fees is going to be the same, but the benefit is for you. I think that is the approach that we will have to impress upon lawyers, because no lawyer wants to give up the fees. Especially when it's you're starting your career and it's your bread and butter. We'll come back to that with you for your, if I can put it. And sensitization of lawyers is important. Sensitization of the litigant public. Sir already said that it's now going with the summons. So I think if the flyer with the summons is in very simple language, telling them, before you go to court, come to us and we will have mediation. That's even though the litigation has started before it carries on to the next stage. I think that is one of the flyers that go with the summons, is one of the main means that we can have of bringing the mediation concept to the litigating public. Now, pre-mediation was another word I heard. We want pre-mediation litigation from the court or from the banks. You know, the trend is for trained mediators to start their own practice in litigation. In Madras, it has started. There are lawyers who say lawyer, mediator. You know, when you have your name board. So, you can have a practice with pre-mediation litigation. So, a client comes to you and says, I want to start a case. Do you want to settle it? There is okay, the husband comes to you and says, I want to start a divorce proceeding. Nothing stops you from sending a notice to a letter, not a notice, a letter to the wife saying, so and so has approached for a mediation to settle the disputes. In the event of you wanting to settle the dispute, you can have litigation with your counsel. We'll have a mediator, I'll be the mediator. But remember, if you're the mediator, you can't appear for either party. That's there. But almost all cases that come like this, go and finish in mutual consent. So there's nothing to say you have to wait for people to come to you as a mediator. You can start as a mediator. You can start your practice as pre-litigation mediator on your own. But see to it that the other party is there. Tell them very clearly in the beginning, I'm not a mediator. I'm only acting as a conciliator for this party. Bring somebody with you, not necessarily so that then you are not blocked out from appearing. Don't tell me any details. Are you willing to settle? If settling, what are the... Don't talk about the facts of the case. Then you get left out of that as a conciliator, not as a mediator. Because a mediator is where you get stuck. Yes, correct. Mediators have to be neutral. You are not a judge. Another question that a sentence that I heard was, mediation goes on for 3 months, goes on for 6 months. Is that the practice here? Because according to the rules, mediation is for 60 days. In 90 days also has now been made 60 days. Because if you feel at 60 days, it's settlement. For 5 points settled, 2 points open. 2 of the conflict points. You can ask the court to extend it for another 30 days. But you can't take 6 months. Today we are very strict, saying that 60 days is 60 days. So that in the prolonging the litigation is stopped. We give it a chance for mediation, but bring it back into the thing. I heard the words of success, failure, success, failure. I don't know, but somehow, personally, I feel that mediation is never, ever a failure. You may not have a mediation report, but it does not mean that mediation is a failure. Why do you have a conflict? Tell me somebody, you've done the training. Why do you have a conflict?
Mediation center is asking some settlement. It's asking some marriage cases. Suppose divorce case is coming. We can't unite. They're coming with the mind that they want to separate. There cannot be a settlement.
No, generally I'm saying, why is there a conflict? Difference of opinion, and they have not been able to discuss and talk. Half the problems, you're correct, half the problems are because you cannot discuss that issue. I cannot discuss the issue with you as a wife. I cannot discuss the issue. When you come to mediation and you are talking the issue over, everything is threadbare. You have discussed everything that you want to discuss. As a party to that mediation, you see I have spoken to many people who've come, sat and not finished it. But when they go out, they say, I see the whole problem from a different perspective. I see the problem from the perspective of the other side also. You see, you get it's not, I want. You also know what he wants. So your perspective of the problem has changed. And that leads to settlement somewhere. You don't go out with the same friend. Once you're in mediation, you have changed. There's no doubt about it. If the mediator allows the parties to talk, allows to exchange of the information. Okay? Mediator appearing as for the party is never allowed. In fact, this is some question that we went into in great detail earlier. We said, if I'm a mediator between both of you, I cannot appear in the same case, ethical issue. Now, if you like me as a mediator in this case, can you bring me another case? You see, if you say no, if you go to a small court, a sub-court somewhere, there's only a certain amount of litigants. So if I can never appear for one person, I'd rather not be a mediator. So I think we said at the end, you can't appear for 2 years. That's what we said at the end. That after mediation, for 2 years, I cannot appear. But, the cooling period. Thank you for that word, the cooling period. After 2 years, I can appear for you. You see? But never, if I've been in mediation, that's why I'm saying, if you have pre-mediation meeting, call it a pre-mediation, a pre-litigation meeting with you as a conciliator. Okay? Advocate, mediator, conciliator. Put it, and then you get over that. I think almost all the points that came up over and over again, I have more or less taken up. But now if there are other points, other questions, anyone has any question, then we can go. I mean, look at it from both ways. Or if you have any best practices to put forward. If you say, I use this tactic, if I use this method of mediation, and so I use this method, I used a third party a third party to settle disputes. So if there's any practice, yes.
Someone asked about the confidence on their respective counsels by litigants. The confidence counsel by the litigants. He raised the question.
The question of
confidence. Counsels of litigants.
There's also the question of confidential, of the counsels.
Of the litigants, respective litigants.
Of the respective litigants. What do you have to say for that? because it's a problem here.
Sorry, you already told we have to discuss the thing.
Can you have the mic, please? Mic.
We have already been told.
Mic you want to support this?
We have already been trained in the training system. Has been told that we don't have to discuss this outside. How can we go to the court anyway? So every aspect of the mediation should we get confidence.
Yes. What happens to the councils who were listening? Is that the question? What happens when the councils, as a mediator, do you tell them in the beginning itself that that this is confidential?
There is a question of diverging confidential between the party and the mediator. It's always confidential. We don't note down anything with that.
No. Mediator, it's confidential.
Yes.
But what about the plaintiff's lawyer?
Plaintiff's lawyer also will not be divulged.
No, but we can't control that.
No.
We can't
We are holding separate sessions.
That's the absolutely correct answer. You tell them in the beginning, anything that you don't want to go outside, tell me in a separate session. Then it's only with you. Then you're asking them, can I divulge it? You're not going to give crucial points. And most litigants don't, most of the parties don't give the crucial information in the beginning itself. So that's there. If anyone has any best practices, how you are able to bring out a mediation, how to settle it, how to build confidence.
Another question I have.
Yes.
Suppose the mediation fails. Can the party approach the court for a second mediation?
Yes, you can. If you that's what I said. Many times mediation has failed. They've gone back to court. They see it from a different angle now. They come back again. Sometimes they even ask for the same mediator. They say XYZ mediated for me. I want the same mediator again.
When that happens within a time span of 60 days and 90 days now, they won't be able to come in consensus with each other. And finally they feel that they can settle it.
Yes. You can tell the learned judge, we wanted to go back to mediation. You can go back to mediation with a new mediator. You can also request that the same mediator come back again. 60 days, it's over. You filed your written statement. It's now coming to framing of issues. You say, no, when you're framing issues, I'll go back for 30 days to mediation and come back. You have the choice. The parties have the choice of doing that. I think this question of balancing the interest of the lawyers with the interest of the mediating parties is something that, we have to all work on, because you have to have that. Now, any other?
In mutual consent divorces, they have already set their minds to
separate.
They refuse to come to the mediation at all.
I'll take the question.
Okay.
In respect of mutual consent, after the judgment of Amardeep Singh that we are granting divorce within 1 week from the date of filing of the application, that too on filing application for waiving the cooling period, and there is no necessity for going for mediation. That we will grant, if the time is over, that we will grant mediation, we will grant divorce, that will be followed all over the district.
But that
will be settled. That will be settled.
I think that is a thing that we are following in Chennai also. Because the judgment also refers to mediation. So what happens is, if the case has been pending for 2 years, and if they've had counseling in the middle, then as the Honorable Judge says, we don't have mediation, we don't have anything. But if a new case is filed, two people have come, filed a case today.
No. If time is over and the parties have settled all the dispute with regard to maintenance, alimony and custody, all those things have been settled earlier, the time stipulated is over, we will grant divorce at once within a period of 1 week, and that will be followed throughout the district. Yes, that will be done. No.
The judge in Harvard jail.
Here in after it will not happen. That
No. He has accepted it and corrected time. Schooling time was that 6 months was there. Before that it was done.
It was done even yesterday.
Yeah.
That's it.
It is done in our district.
It will be taken care of. I said it will be taken care of.
Some matters, either husband will not be coming at all, wife will be coming, or wife will not be coming because they are not interested in such matters. What can we do?
That has to take the legal course.
That means they don't want mediation. Maybe sometimes you could talk to the lawyer. Because what we do is we send notice to the lawyer. We send notice again to the lawyer saying your party has not been present. The mediation center does it.
In a contentious issue.
Yes.
In a contentious issue. The mediation has to fail.
No, what we do is we send notice again to the council. To the council. Yeah. And then after sending notice, if they still don't come, then we have no choice but to close the meeting.
In civil court, there is one person who is in prison. What should have done?
60 days.
Prison.
Because the petition is there. It is pending for order. I don't want to.
I think in that instance, can you have video conferencing?
We are the mediator.
No. Is there any possibility of mediation through video conferencing? Is it possible? If it's possible, just because he's in prison, it doesn't mean you have to throw it out. There is video conferencing. Yes, because you listen to their applications.
In my report, I have said that we will extend the facility.
Yeah, so that means that solves the problem. Video conferencing is there.
You are now
Yeah, then you can do the mediation through VC.
But for local,
wherever the signature requires and the presence of the person requires to sign the agreement or the any settlement order.
mediation process can go on. For the purpose of signing, he has to come.
Like 313 question. That's not.
Well, I suppose like they bring him to court, they can bring him to the mediation center.
Yes, that it can granted. It depends upon your process of mediation.
If it's settled, they can bring him.
Always the court due for conducting mediation.
I wanted to bring this because that one of the council, appearing for one party, made an allegation that the mediator did not take any act. That's all.
No action
No, it's not
Any other question?
Yes, ma'am. Mutual divorce வந்து ஃபைல் பண்ணி அதுல பிசில வந்து பண்ணலாம்னு சொல்றீங்க. பட் mutual divorce வந்து அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு மீடியேஷன் தேவையில்லை என்னோட opinion because my client is already coming from
It is not for the me. It's not mutual consent. If you have mediation, it's not for when 6 months is over. When you want it within 1 week, fresh filing of mutual consent, and you want to cooling period is not gone through, then waiver for permission, not for the we never go into the agreed points. It's only for the waiver.
because it has been already posted referred to the mediation. My client always comes from Dubai. It's waste of time, waste of money.
I take the question that we will not refer the matter to mediation. Hereafter, I will follow if you are filing an application for waiver of the cooling period, we will allow that application and divorce will be granted, provided the matter has been already settled in all aspects. Maintenance, custody and other matters have already been settled. If the cooling period, if the period of 1.5 years was already over, that will take up the matter and will grant divorce immediately.
Yeah, that period. Depends on that thing. Any other questions? Yes.
Civil private matters, money matters can be referred to the mediation.
Yes. I think sometimes
Private money matters, that means all check cases like check cases.
cases are being referred. They are being referred. They are being referred, sir. What we don't refer. No, it's coming to mediation.
it was even as against the government, we are referring the matter to mediation. If there is any matter can be
settled. Anything that can be settled. Unless, what we don't like to take are rape cases. Rape cases were coming to us.
Respect of criminal matters, wherever the comfortable offence.
Yes, that's it. Can be set. That's
non-comfortable offences can be passed only by the High Court.
Yes, that is the difference. Does not mean all criminal cases are out.
The matter can be settled before there you have to obtain order.
Specifically 138 cases, there is a judgment from the Delhi High Court. Dayavadi versus Yogesh Kumar can be referred in the reference lines.
Yes, it
You
is
can
being
see
referred. Yes. I mean, in what context are you saying? In mediation?
They say only if the parties get back together, then it becomes a
No. I don't think so. Mediation is not to put parties back together. Mediation is also to settle the dispute. It's to settle the dispute amicably. That's the bottom line. Bottom line is settled. So if the wife says, give me 50 lakhs, I will have custody of the child. And you put that into a mediation agreement. Then that report goes back to court. The parties then come and file a 13B with the same things. Usually what we do is to file that agreement before the mediation as a document in the 13B. And then immediately divorce is granted because the parties have settled the dispute in mediation. So there's absolutely no problem.
Excuse me, ma'am. I have not much experience in mediation. My husband is a mediator. So I had been with him for one session. It was a husband and wife divorce case. And when that lady was talking with him, she saw me, she said, can I speak with you? I said, okay. Then she told me what the problem was. She felt more comfortable talking with a woman advocate. So I think more women mediators would be best for, especially for family cases.
Family cases, the wife was drawn to you. What about the husband?
No. See, no. What I want to say is, there are some problems that she cannot discuss with the male gender. Yeah. So,
at one time when we started mediation, we used to have two, especially for family court matters, we used to have a mediator and a co-mediator. If the mediator is a man, then the co-mediator. But then, as more and more cases came in, we couldn't be putting two mediators for one case. So we started splitting the cases, you see. But I'm sure maybe you should make it known that if somebody wants to talk, then you can always bring in a co-mediator. I don't think there's any bar to bringing in a woman co-mediator, but I am more at ease to say what is the problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that. I think that will be clarity.
This 90 days, 60 days is the time period.
Yeah.
You can loud enough. 60 days is the time period. And after that we file an extension petition for 90 days.
If it doesn't settle, and we may, the court can give an extension of 2 weeks, 1 month, there's no time. Then it's the discretion of the court. Originally it's 60 days.
But 90 days is the extension period and 30 days after.
No, I'm not saying 90 days is the extension. This is the court which decides.
There's no need to file any application.
No need to file an application.
Just represent before the concerned court.
You represent and get an extension.
Then it will be automatically extended.
Because sometimes
depends upon your mediation process. If ending with any settlement, positive settlement, then the court will consider and extend the time. Yes.
Because
No need to
sometimes
file.
I feel, the time limit is too less. Because we have plenty of
That is
sessions.
the time fixed not to exploit this opportunity
Yes.
to prolong the case. That's why. If any settlement is there, definitely the court, concerned court will consider.
But I think usually we ask for both parties to come and ask for a time extension.
Of course.
Both parties, ma'am, both parties come and ask for time extension. Because if you want to prolong it, you can't come and ask for extension. Both come and say, yeah, we are talking, we are settling. Then it's usually. You were just telling us about the rape cases coming for mediation. It did come long ago. In the beginning it came.
What kind of mediation do you?
Because those were cases, the cases that came in, the man would file a quash petition. And in that quash petition he would say, the reason they have put this charge against me is because me and this girl were going together. It was consensual. The physical relationship was consensual. They wanted me to marry her. Then they would send those kind of cases. And then, but frankly, I never used to like to say, yeah, you're going to marry the girl, so we forgive you the rape. They came very, very early. Maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when mediation first started. Now we don't have.
Not all the cases under section 376.
Yeah.
Now coupled with 417, if there is any possibility for marriage between the victim and the accused, then we can definitely consider before the mediation.
Those are the only case. That's why.
Yes, even the 482 inherent power of the High Court, we are doing. Even under the POCSO Act, at the verge of attaining majority, 17.5 years or 7 years and above, then after completion after attainment of majority, if the girl and the family of the victim girl willing to marry the same, yes, then it can be considered. Yes, it is all the love matters because the age is now only the.
I think that's also there because a lot of the rape charges are promised marriage.
Yes, on the pretext of marriage only they are.
So promised me marriage and so.
Yes. You can't say it's a consent because she's under after the POCSO. You can't be taken. Yeah, after attaining majority. Yes.
Lordship at the stage, the age can be reduced to 16 as it was done in.
Yes, we also now
I think they are trying to raise the age.
Under the recommendation of Law Commission, it is under process. We will expect soon. Yes.
Madam, mediation is a eco-friendly system, and we cut on the pages in the papers, and also we don't cut on the fees. It's an eco-friendly system, and also it is an ego-friendly system. We cut on the ego also.
Yes.
We cut on the ego also, and here you are.
You're audible.
Madam, this mediation is a first appeal, madam. It is not a direct system. Directly approaching mediation is a appealable authority. Of my opinion, because the trial court starts at home. We have to educate them at home. It is between the family members that dispute arises. We have to educate them to settle at home itself.
But then when we get to all the people in their homes, maybe we'll make more fights. Don't fight for this.
Any specific condition is put on when a retired district judge or high court judge files number of cases, 10 cases, 12 cases, any specific conditions are put.